All right.
Let's get it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Tardy to the Party, the podcast sent out with weekly news and reviews of the holy trinity of pop culture, Marvel, DC, and Star Wars. I'm your boy, J-Sib, and to my left, as always,
I'm KP.
and to my right, as always,
Bull.
Shit.
Bull. Oh, YouTube's gonna crack down. Did you guys hear that? They're cracking down on like cussing.
So is that because the current CEO has stepped down?
That just broke. I think like a day or two ago. But
some people were.
We don't get monetization because we're not big enough yet anyway. So it doesn't really matter.
Okay, so is that why people were kind of like rejoicing about it?
Maybe because if she's the one that made that decision.
But let's be honest. I was on Twitter, and we all know what's on Twitter.
Garbage.
True.
People are on Twitter.
Like I said, garbage. Alrighty. We got a pretty loaded episode, I would say, kind of. We got a lot of reviews, I would say. Which we just got back from Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. So I think we're just going to start the episode and just dive into that bad boy while it's nice and fresh. Boys, what's your thoughts? What'd you think?
You guys know my thoughts so far.
We'll do a non-spoiler to start off, and then we will get into the juiciness after that. So what'd you guys think?
Well, non-spoilers. It's the plot is something.
It's everywhere, dude.
It's not for me that it was everywhere. It was just like.
Oh, it was breakneck speed.
That's the thing. Is right in the middle of it. I remember I looked over at you and I was like, dude, this needs to be like twice as long to get all the stuff they wanted to get through across.
And then when it was all over, I said that I got that feeling about 20 minutes in. Yeah. I was like...
It was rapid fire.
Like Jordan's right. It's breakneck speed. And I was just like... watching it. I'm like, slow down here.
That's true.
Like, slow down here, please.
Yeah.
Outside of that... shit, it was basic. I was laughing a lot.
It was awesome.
It was funny.
The comedy in it was pretty good.
The comedy in it was good. And I will say that's probably 100% got to do with because Paul Rudd is so good. There was one point where I'm like, they couldn't have pulled this silly, goofy shit off without him.
With anybody else, dude. I can't think of anybody.
And Corey Stoll, who plays MODOK, that was a nice surprise. And that's what I'll leave it at.
Yeah. For the sake of spoilers, we'll talk about that later.
in a second. For a quick non-spoiler, because, that's the thing, is reviewing a movie. It's like, well, how much can I really say about it here?
Right. Entertaining as hell.
So entertaining. So my last closing statement is, I understand, after seeing it, why a critic would absolutely put it in a dumpster. I also understand why to the everyday person, like all of you out there, you'll probably just enjoy the movie and think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So yeah, because that's kind of how I feel. I'm like, it's not horrible.
Like you were saying in the theater,
I don't critique movies.
Well, and the thing is, like you say, structurally, I'm sure there's things that can be improved upon.
But, that's true. When you and a mutual friend, you guys were like, that wasn't bad at all. I was like, well, slow down. It's definitely got its problems.
Well, right.
We'll get into that.
Yeah, and every movie's got its problems. But
overall, I understand why it's basically a coin toss from the critics, but at the end of the day, I think it was, it has its problems, but I think it was enjoyable, fun, entertaining. I'm definitely kind of a little let down with Kang a little bit in the way that they not Jonathan Majors and Kang himself, just choices that they made around the character. I'll just leave it at that without getting too spoilery.
Okay.
That's just not how I would have done it. I think he's very great in the role, but I feel like they did a lot better job of establishing Thanos as a threat when he first arrived. I don't necessarily feel that threat from Kang after this movie.
And apparently we were supposed to. And I will agree there.
So, overall, I enjoyed it. I had a good time. For me to walk out of a Marvel movie and say I actually really liked the comedy in this movie, because usually I'm the one bagging on how terrible I think it usually is and how overutilized it is in a lot of their movies. But I think a lot of the jokes hit in this one, and I don't know. There's a lot of times where I was like, oh, that was clever. Like, I don't know.
And
that,
honestly, tonally,
whoever wrote this movie, I can see why they are kind of taking them over into Kang Dynasty to write that. Like, I can see why you would want the writer, despite the issues of the movie. I can still understand why they're bringing him over, or she. I can't remember.
I'm nervous, but then people were like, "Well, the same writer did all these movies." So, like, the Russos did Winter Soldier, Infinity War, and Endgame. But then either one or both of them also did Thor Dark World and another, like, bottom feeder, the MCU. So it's like, well, and what's funny is, like, so I say this, so I should probably just chill out, but I'm a little nervous that it is the same writer for the next two Avengers.
So, overall, I'd say it's worth a watch for sure. I mean,
I think it was just more.
It progresses the Marvel Universe storyline, but at the same time, it kind of feels like Phase 4 again. Just another.
It did, yeah.
It's still, I'd say it's still worth, like, what was it, 2 hours?
Yeah, it was 2 hours.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. If it was only 2 hours, it could have used at least maybe 30 more minutes. Like, I don't think 30 more minutes would have hurt it.
That would have allowed more character build in the beginning and setting up the situation.
A little more breathing room at times, too. Like,
I kind of like, I got a lot to say on it, really, to deep dive into it, but...
And then I guess we'll just leave off with the non-spoiler section of just letting you guys know, if you haven't seen it yet, there are 2 post-credit scenes, so if you care to stay for those...
You should stay for those.
Definitely should. Explains a lot more about the next steps.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So, I guess we'll cut it off here. So, I mean, if you haven't seen it yet, feel free to comment below. I don't know.
Don't dig through the comments if you haven't.
Yeah, don't do that. So yeah, let's put up the spoiler. All right, let's get into it. KP, you've got some issues.
Well, okay, so the rushed plot, and when, like, it actually was so, like, I kind of saw it coming, was just the fact that, and I'm fine with the montage in the beginning about how his life's been going since the events of Endgame. He's basically has taken a backseat. Hope is super successful. Life's great. Except he kind of has a shithead teenage daughter. Damn.
Right.
So then that just kind of quickly escalates into... Like, okay, she gets arrested because of activism. They don't really touch on that, and then it just kind of...
jumps right into her having a suit and being able to shrink cars, and she knows how to fight. And everything is already done. Right.
And also just studied quantum physics for 5 years.
Oh, and
became a genius in it.
Yeah, was able to create a Hubble telescope. Or was it some telescope that looks into the quantum realm.
Yeah. Right. That's a little much.
It was just there. It happened.
I don't really. That didn't bug me really at all.
Bug me
how many times has something like that happened in the comics? This is one thing I will say I liked about the movie, and why I kind of understand why they kept the writer, is it definitely felt very comic booky.
Oh, it was campier than shit.
Like,
but it's fantastic.
The entire quantum realm.
It was awesome.
I mean, think about how many like kid geniuses there are in comics. I mean, look at what is it? Reed Richards' kids, who literally as a child like creates a universe, just dicking around, just creates a universe.
That's true.
So I mean, it's nothing like.
So that's why no. No,
that's why the DCU's so fucked up. No.
Well, you said Reed Richards, so I was like, oh, that's why eventually there's just this asshole that we just saw. Oh shit! Do you guys know that yet? Spoilers
for a future movie and a comic book from forever ago.
I will say though, the visuals on this, man. There were some scenes where I'm like, this looks like booty, but there were some that I was like, this is fucking impressive.
When Michelle Pfeiffer went to pet that one flying thing, I was like, that's rough. That looks terrible. So I can literally see her finger clipping into the animal.
So she is actually where I was going. I kind of got off track, but like I said, I kind of knew it was going to be a fast-paced plot. When, like, immediately, it's like this whole satellite signal speaking the Hubble telescope, and, like, in a frame, she just, no! And, like, breaks it. And I'm like, good God.
She kind of bugged me, this movie.
Just and quickly.
It makes no sense to me. Because wasn't she very willing to send Scott into the quantum realm, like, a movie or two ago, and now all of a sudden she's freaking the fuck out about it?
Oh, you mean at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp, where he's literally shrinking down to collect energy for the PEM particles for it because it's going to better power all their shit?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, so she just kind of doesn't happenstance mention ever that, hey, if you just got a little smaller, you'd be in a fucking terrible area that's literally... It's fucking Star Wars. It was Star Wars. That's all the movie was fucking Star Wars.
Sweet.
Now I understand, because I kept reading what he was going to say. And honestly, at the end of it...
It really was.
At the end of the movie, when you were saying, oh, that was awesome, I was sitting there, I'm like, that's because it's fucking Star Wars.
And that's what... dude, literally, you should have saw my eyes light up when, like, they had, like, I created my empire... And he like points down,
my bad,
and fucking, and then fucking, he points down. He says, "I created my empire, and I'm taking them with me." And like, I'm like, cue Attack of the Clones theme song, just.
If we were the only ones in the theater, I was like almost jerk reaction, just. Begun the Secret Wars have just like like just I mean it was just it was Star Wars
and I agree because they definitely use the volume stage a fuck ton in this movie. Like that's one thing I kind of like, but like the CGI for the most part looked pretty good for how, like, I understand why CGI artists were so far behind. It's this movie. The whole movie is basically CGI.
Oh yeah.
How many holes do you have?
He has 7.
It says 7. He goes, that's correct.
Yeah, that checks out.
That checks out.
We all have holes. All right. Move on.
Oh
I think I think that little Uzi Blob character is probably my favorite of the whole
hilarious,
movie.
Bro.
He was,
that's voiced by that dude. Was voiced by he's the Russian in the first 2 movies. That's a part of the group.
Okay.
Really?
Plays Polka Dot in the Suicide Squad.
Yeah. Okay,
that guy.
Okay, interesting.
I was wondering who was voicing him. I was like, that was a great character.
Dude, the drinking the goo to be able to understand them.
Yeah, when they just start to hear them, they're just like,
drink
they
understand. Drink the ooze.
Dude, I like when what did he say right after that was. He says, your houses are alive? Yours are dead? Dude, that's why one thing I was going to say earlier, tonally for this movie for you, at least in like Love and Thunder, we had the complete 2 different movies happening on the same scale. This, tonally, I think that's why it affects the delivery of the comedy, is that you know that this is what it is.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, those scenes like that were just reminders all the way throughout. Like, if you thought that you're going to get some serious shit, you're not. You're not.
I didn't. Thank
you, Spider-Man.
Dude, we knew it was coming and we laughed just as hard.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's fucking awesome.
I don't know, him reading the book, I fucking lost my shit. I thought that was so funny.
Dude, with the fucking, like, what is it, like, what does he have when he's rubbing his
chin?
Dude,
and what's funny as shit is
right here.
They actually, you can buy that book. It's real.
Yeah.
I kind of want to. Why not? Like, to read it.
We'll fucking put that bitch right here. It's like right in front of us.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Michelle Pfeiffer. I mean, it bothered me too, Jay, just because of the way the plot developed. I think that I don't know. I think it should have been structured differently. Like, the very beginning, he just crashes and she goes over to him and kind of gives him a hand, and then it cuts to beginning day.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what...
Or modern day.
And that's... I
Well, I mean, that was their way of
is,
establishing that she already met this new character and how they met, but... Once again, just it goes back to just it doesn't make sense why all of a sudden out of nowhere she's just freaking out about going back to the quantum realm when she was perfectly okay sending Scott there in the last movie.
Dude, honestly...
Yeah, but I will say she does say... They do bring attention to it, though, when they finally get down there. She does say... So, obviously they send the signal and they get sucked through the portal and go down and shrink they shrink like crazy down to... wherever the other signal was coming from. I will say they at least touched it. She does say, like, because he brings up Hank. He's like, why didn't we know about this? Why hasn't this happened before? And she's like, you just didn't get small enough, was the whole thing. That's why I'm like,
Yeah.
lame.
I mean, I guess... and that's the
You
thing,
didn't get micro enough to get into the microverse. Okay.
Well, and as far as this, so leading to that, the structure, I think that this movie, and it's so weird how they did it, is they explained parts of their plot as it developed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think
that's what I mean when I'm like, I think this...
Yeah.
There's one piece that I'm like, maybe this could have went a little like in the beginning, but can get to there, I guess. Okay. I don't know.
It was no, you're right. Structurally, there were things that could certainly changed. But I mean, I think a lot of those could have been addressed by making it a little bit longer. Mm-hmm. Obviously giving yourself the time you need. But yeah,
got to hit that 2-hour mark, man. Got to get as many theater showtimes as we can.
Yeah. Dude, this one could have been.
That's what Justice League did. Worked out great for us.
Fucking minutes, dude. 3 hours and 15, it could have fucking been. And they'd have still had not enough.
Like he said,
I just depressed myself.
That's the thing. Like Jordan said, you got to get as many show times in because they don't want to release as many, like, copies of the film out there.
Right.
Because then, like, with all of it being digital now, it's, like, even more higher risk that it gets leaked online in full. Which I think actually happened with this, if I... remember
the leak
the
leak was like 90, I would say 98% correct. There is like a couple things that were off that I might have been true for test screenings and they changed some things, but like 98% of the leak was true on this movie.
Oh, you mean on like the script leak?
Yeah, just the leaks on this movie in general. I never read the script leak. I never got around to doing it, but the leak that I heard of what just basically summarized the whole movie, it was like bang on. The only difference in the leak that I heard was it had it ending with Ant-Man and the Wasp being stuck in the quantum realm.
And I thought that was the way it was going to end.
And MODOK lived and got out of the quantum realm was the only two things that in the leak that I read was wrong. But it still had him having that Avengers moment in the leak. Mm-hmm. But like it was like he like tricked them to get out of the quantum realm.
Well, we have a little bit more of a reason why then that they made him look like a dipshit without his helmet on.
It wasn't that he looked like a dipshit. I just thought it was just a bad job.
I thought it looked.
I don't envy whatever VFX artists got that job though.
No, I mean,
but he really should have looked a lot more like. Not just pristine skin, like he should have looked like even on his actual face, it should have been fucked up. Like, because in the comics, he's very deformed facial looking. Like that's, and again, when I said as soon as you saw his face, when I was like that looks like shit, I meant specifically just the visual effect of the head. It just looked like shit. All they did was just record his head, and they just blew it up.
Just mapped it over.
Yeah, they just mapped it larger, and probably buffered it down into however you do that. I don't know this shit.
I think,
but regardless, shitty. I was like that just looks to me. it didn't look like. I feel like they could have done, like, I feel like I've seen a better job in, like, a video game sometimes.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, I don't know.
Just the like you say, like, just the
There
way
was
it looked like
another-
a fucking jelly dropped in a fucking bowl.
There was
another
another quick frame at the end of the movie where I was like, whoa, that looked kind of bad. But
Was it when MODOK touched Scott's face with his hand?
no, because I was
With his
honestly,
little
I was
arms.
laughing so much at that, I didn't notice if it looked bad.
You ever watch again? Just watch his cheek. It's just like all of a sudden, then it just like shifts down with the, like it just doesn't look natural at all without his face. And I was like, God. That's what happens when your whole fucking movie is VFX shots.
Yeah, seriously.
So I love too how
Some of them were great. Though.
so like they're in the.
I was like I said, there were definitely some shots in this movie, and I was like, "That's pretty cool. Like that looks really,
the
really
swirling
sweet."
background.
But there's also
like,
so many times where the
vortexes and
characters
shit.
were in a scene, and I was like, "I don't actually believe that they're there at all." Because like you look at shots from like Avatar, in the Way of Water. I believe that there's blue people swimming in the water. I believe those fishes are there. Like I don't get taken out at all.
Vicious.
But this movie, there was definitely times where I'm just like, yeah, they're not there. Like, they're not there. And that's that volume stage shit. I'm so, like, when the volume stage is great when it's used right, but when it's just used as a crutch, it's so obvious that they're using a volume because it's just, when you look in the background, it doesn't look real. Like, it just doesn't look like it's a real place. And I get this the quantum realm or whatever, but it's just like, what's behind that cliff over there? Nothing. Like, nothing in this scene makes me believe there's anything beyond that cliff.
Oh yes. I see what you mean.
I get it. Yeah. I mean, I guess I could see that. I mean,
Yeah, I know what he's like saying is like there's no
depth to the shots that they
right because they don't
Yes.
provide a horizon.
It just feels
Right.
very
So
flat. in
It
the
just
background.
it just feels flat, and it's like I said, that's how you get that feeling of like, oh, it's like there's nothing on the other side of that. I know what you mean.
Yeah, outside of their big panning shots, everything was shot in almost like a scene area based shot. You know,
Yeah,
it was,
the volume.
it was just straight down and
Yeah.
angled out. You know, that's all you're getting. It's like you say, that's all you're getting. That's interesting.
And then for me, too, another, I alluded to it earlier in the non-spoiler, Kang. Jonathan Majors is great as Kang. I like his portrayal as Kang and everything. I hate that they made the choice to have him basically lose to Ant-Man. Granted, we know he'll be back, or some variant of him. I'm sure it's going to be this one. Will come back somehow, but...
Well, the thing too, okay, so like they're at the bar. Bill Murray's part was funny.
That was funny.
That was funnier than shit. Then they like
now,
yeah,
right now,
right. And then shit hits the fan, and eventually they just get on the ship, and then she finally opens up about why she's so terrified of him. I thought that really that whole explanation could have just been in the beginning before they even. I guess it doesn't make sense though to the plot. I guess. I don't know. I just felt like that whole... You could have, like, shown some of those events to where it got to where she, like, betrayed him. Like, you could have shown some of that maybe at the very beginning. I don't know.
Yeah, well, and that goes back to, in my opinion, them building the plot. Explaining, building things and explaining them, down the line as they happen, instead of any kind of ground or basis for what happens.
The other thing, too, that's funny to me... Oh, I guess because it was his, so it's fine because they exist. All right, never mind. I was going to say, I thought it's like he got banished when he was like, oh, they banished me.
Yeah.
To this realm. At first, because doesn't he say that before he starts talking about his variants, or did he bring them up and then he said they all banished me?
He touched on it earlier when he said I was banished.
Yeah.
And then later on he talks about everything and it says they banished me at that point. I think he
alluded to the Council of Kings.
The Council of Kings.
Yeah, because before it said I was banned, or I was exiled or whatever. He doesn't elaborate. I was exiled by them. That's kind of what sets.
That's another thing that
I liked when he showed time as a ring, just like from Loki at the very last episode when it's a ring around where they were like at. apparently probably in the quantum realm.
Right.
Yeah, another thing that I was kind of let down by was, like, I liked the flashbacks of Kang and actually seeing him just brutalize shit, but I wanted, like, they alluded to him killing a Thor or an Avenger.
Yes,
I wanted to actually see him kill an Avenger, like in a variant of some sort. Like,
well, and the other thing, too, is to, like, actually establish him as this crazy bastard that's worse than Thanos. Mm-hmm. Why didn't you show him... like killing Captain Marvel.
That's the thing. Like Thanos,
and, like, all these
when he shows up,
ones.
when Thanos shows up and he's got freaking Thor by his freaking head, just dragging him.
Right.
Beat the shit out of him, Hulk, and then snaps Loki's neck. You're like,
yeah.
That's when I sat up in my chair and was like, oh, Marvel means business. This movie, I'm ready for it. This is the Marvel I've been wanting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think honestly, in that regard, you can't really do that yet. You know, like especially with he's not going to be coming back. They don't think. It's the League of fucking whatever his name is, but when it's the whole collection of them, all the variants and everything.
It's what he said. It's actually called the Council of Kangs.
Right. So that thing is with them having Ant-Man defeat this variant. Mm-hmm. I mean, okay. They kind of explain.
I mean, I guess they could just be hitting at that the threat of Kang is just there's multiple and many timelines and everything, but like, I don't know, man, like. Just comparatively to Thanos, like, they built it up as, like, he's going to be the next big threat since Thanos and be just on that level, if not higher. And it's just like, after this movie, I'm just like, I don't really get that.
Yeah.
Well,
I do from the variant sense, but...
I mean, that's what my mind is.
The thing, too, is, like, so Loki, he who remains at the end, he was, like, telling Loki and Sylvie that... all his variants get in a war with each other. Mm-hmm. And he's like the one that wins in the end, and that's how he created time to like exclude all of the the multiverse from existing. Then she kills him, so then it re-exists immediately, basically, because it's the whole thing about that's the whole part of it when they're like, oh, time's a circle. Like, it doesn't go linear, but it kind of does, but it doesn't. So it goes in a circle, so in the multiverse, like, big boomed.
I'm gonna go down here and I'm gonna make a leap, and I'm gonna go down and make a leap.
It's like they, in an instant, have always existed, so it's kind of crazy, but I don't know. The whole him being outside of time and space, that's where I get it, because it's like, well, yeah, because if he is this dude that can freely travel the multiverse with his timeshare... which they did that pretty comic accurate.
Yeah, the chair looked great. And his armor looked great, too.
His armor
and I love that they found a way to give him...
the face shield.
That and just, like, the blue. Because doesn't he actually just have blue skin in the comics, I'm pretty sure? Like,
well,
I don't think it's a visor.
That's the thing, is in the comics, so his variants, get different skin colors.
Yeah.
And that's, like, why it was cool, so... jumping to the end, when you do see the Council of Kangs at the end, like, you see, like, kind of some crazy variants, and like I said, like, the one was a scroll.
Yeah.
Like, so...
it was, Ratatat, or not Ratatat, what's his name? Ramatat? I don't fucking remember. Immortus, I think is the other one. That's the one with, like, the big...
Yeah.
Immortus.
Yes.
The
and
voice.
Then...
No, with the big hat. Yeah. Oh, yeah, he did.
Yeah.
That's Immortus. Yeah.
He's like basically the oldest variant of the King.
Is
Ramatut, that's it.
And then I guess...
see, I don't know if the other one was like the Beyonder version.
This article is saying that he's called Baby King from Vox.
Baby King? He don't look like no Baby King. I thought the King that we were getting was kind of a Baby King.
That's kind of...
I don't know.
Yeah, I wasn't quite sure who the blue suit with like the white... I don't know if that's supposed to be the Beyonder version, but I thought the Conqueror version we saw was supposed to turn into the Beyonder version. So, but I don't know, the way Kangs work, that's just probably Kang the Conqueror further along in his life, where he's
right. Who knows? And doubt we'll hear much more about the one we just...
And time is a circle.
Circular, but it's not.
You go here and I'm gonna make a leap.
Yeah, dude.
No, well, the one that's a Beyonder, like, wears just like a white suit. Like,
right, like, but just the way they looked, I was like, maybe that's their adaptation of it. Like the one they showed, I was like, I don't recognize that one at all. Like, I don't. But I also don't know
is the one that's
about Kang.
Is the
Somebody's
one
gonna
that's
deep dive it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
At some point.
Is the one that's the Beyonder? He's not an evil variant, though, is he?
I think so. I thought the only good one was Iron Lad or whatever.
That's what I thought. So,
Like I said, my knowledge of Kang is it's not very big. DC guy here. Should be impressed I know anything at all about this guy.
the Reddit post, the Beyonder will be the main villain of Secret Wars in a Kang variant. It's from some tweet, so it's probably just someone reaching. Maybe he could be.
I mean, we'll find out one day.
Well, shoot. I mean, honestly, that's why I don't put as much heat. Like, when we're talking about like building up like the scariness of the character. If that same variant was going to be the main villain, I would see more. But what I got from it was this one variant caused this much problem. Now we have all of them to deal with, and
that could be the way they go about it, which would be an interesting way of doing it, rather than just having one big, strong bad. You have a lot of just strong
variant bad boys.
but also still very, very strong. But
yeah,
I mean, like KP alluded to earlier, even in Loki the show, I'm sure the Council of Kangs are going to go to war at some point too, which is probably what's going to kind of help the Avengers in a way. So at least they'll kind of be divided.
Yeah.
So it'll kind of help them. I don't know.
All of them on them. If all of them got together, my guess is no way.
Well, the way I understood.
Did you see how they were porting in?
Yep.
My boy, Reed Richards.
Mm-hmm. Well, again,
John Krasinski himself. I know. But when I saw that, I was like, I like that detail. I was like, I like that.
Yeah. The character is the descendant, so the end credit scene.
Will we get a Council of Richards, like in the comics,
or like the or the slow down here, but hang on, maybe the real Marvel Illuminati? Can we just? Here's 20 million, Robert. Come back. We need you.
Most of them got one.
Okay.
Most of them got one.
Oh, you want those merch sales and toy sales too? Sure.
Well, yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, whatever. You earned them. The other post-credit scene?
No, well, the first one, just real quick, it was funny just because, so they banished him to this place, and then, they're like, oh, the Ant-Man, he's killed him, so they're like, the Conqueror is dead. And it's like, yeah, it's kind of crazy. You would think, well, if all of you didn't like this guy, and he's dead, and you're rejoicing, because he was the one asshole that was going to start a war with all of you. Why is it when Immortus alludes, he's like they're figuring it out across the multiverse, how to get into the quantum realm, I guess, is the whole point.
Or how to travel.
Or how to travel, whatever. Yeah. And they just all collectively just don't like that.
Because it'll destroy everything they built. That's what they say. They're going to destroy each other and destroy everything we built along with it.
Right, which makes me wonder, is it in all of those universes with all of those Kangs, it's they are their own ruler, and that's what they're so afraid of losing? I just don't really... It's just kind of odd to me.
That would make sense. Considering how he was. His other variants, even no matter how different they can be, there are some similarities amongst all of them.
I guess, again, with the Loki show, he told him, he's like, my variants, he's like, they are not benevolent like I am. And that was supposed to be the, oh shit, don't kill this guy thing, and then she does anyway. So yeah, I guess that's the thing, is so I took it too, they're just going to all go to war with, their own Avengers in their universes, is how I took it, really. Because when they're saying, oh, they're figuring it out, I figure when they say they're talking about, well, the Avengers.
That's what I thought as well.
Yeah. So I took it as, okay, so basically, all the Avengers in each universe is going to go fight their own version of Kang.
Which would make sense. Secret Wars, makes sense. We would be getting a bunch of. I mean, I'm sorry if I don't see like two different. Well, sorry, we could
maybe
have two
that's what Kang.
If I don't see like two different Iron Mans, or like I want some variant. Like, give me two of the same hero on screen.
And
like,
that may be what Kang. So, I don't know if we just touch on the second post-credit scene or not, but
Victor Timely.
Just do that and real quick, and then so that's the thing, is like it's an old-timey thing. You're like, what the fuck? And then he's like, is he supposed to be like his universe is Thomas Edison or something?
So he basically travels back to like the early 1900s, I think, and he becomes mayor of a town called Timely.
Okay.
And he basically like runs the town. Because he uses his knowledge of knowing the future to get power and rise.
That's right, yeah.
And Victor Timely is actually kind of a nod and an Easter egg to Marvel's old name, because before they were Marvel, they were Atlas, and before that, they were Timely Comics. So cool. Victor Timely is actually a nod to their old name.
That's very cool.
So I kind of popped for that in a way when I saw like when they showed the sign Victor Timely. I was like, Victor Timely.
When you said that, I'm like, I don't know why that's relevant. So I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. And then it showed who I'm thinking is going to be a major player. Let's get him back into the movies.
Owen Wilson?
Him too. He can come along for the ride. He is coming along for the ride.
I'm surprised that they got him again. I mean, like, he had to have had a good fucking time shooting that.
I was going to say, shit, why not?
Yeah, I mean, he had to have.
But yes, but Loki, the Loki variant, the one that's like already knew about all this shit. He's like, oh, fine. Do you think that the Victor Timely variant, though, with this adaptation, do you think they're going to try to say, like, that's the first one, technically, that went back in time?
And gave them the
and then it started, basically, multiverses happening?
I mean, they could go that route. It depends on how you look. It depends how you look at time, because, Ramatut would be kind of the one that went back furthest in time. So
exactly.
Would he be the first?
Yeah.
Right. It depends how you look at it.
Yeah. What's crazy, I don't know. It was just awesome to see Loki, because obviously it's just teaser footage, because that's the next thing in Marvel is Loki Season 2 that's going to come out. And
can't wait.
And to recap, unless you want to go back and watch Season 1, but it basically ends that he got pushed through a portal by Sylvie, but he didn't go back to the normal 616 Earth. He went to a different one that's like, it's a TVA that's ruled by a Kang variant. Yep. A Kang the Conqueror variant, to be exact, because like the statue resembled like the same... That actually, the statue at the end of that episode actually more closely resembled his outfit from the comics than even in this movie. Mm-hmm. Like, in this movie, it was heavily adapted into be like, he was like he was like a warrior. Like...
Yeah, because isn't it usually like robes in the comics or something like?
Yeah, it's more like complete straight robes. So I do agree with you that I wasn't big on like the way they kind of introduced him completely. Why can he wield the Force?
He's got like just so advanced technology, it just looks like magic.
Okay, that's what it is.
Centuries.
Which I will say, I like how they handled that.
That does make sense, because yes, you're right. I forget that he is from the 30th century, so essentially it's 1,000 years in the future.
Yeah, so basically, and I mean that's like, I like that, because if you took somebody from the past and showed them like this, like just nowadays technology, it would be magic to them. Mm-hmm, and that's how his technology came off in this movie.
Right.
Like you said, how's this dude wheeling in the Force right now? It's like, he's not. It just looks like it.
Literally,
technology is just so advanced.
Again, back to the comparison to Star Wars. Literally, he's just like Palpatine. Yeah. He's just like Palpatine, just waving his fingers, just Force choke, throw you against the wall, like,
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even the lasers out of his hands, I'm kind of like sitting
Force lightning.
Yeah, I'm like sitting there. I'm like, just say unlimited power already. The shielding that he could do is sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah. I hardcore like Destiny 2 Titan Bubble.
Yep.
Just
hell yeah.
That's like literally
Winston Bubble.
Like my buddies who I game with. Yeah, Winston Bubble. Like now when I game, just shit, just pop the Kang bubble.
Hell yeah.
Pop the Kang bubble.
But he was no match for the ants.
Dude,
That was
those
dope as
ants,
fuck.
That actually was kind of
that
sweet.
was
dude.
sick.
Do 1,000 years in one day because they traveled through some.
I will
time.
say they really embraced the sci-fi aspect of this movie,
Hell
which was
yeah.
really sweet. I
Dude,
liked
some
that.
people are so pissed off about it. They're like, there's no fucking real science behind this. It's, bro, one, it's a movie. Two, it's adapted from a comic book. And three, it's Hollywood.
Exactly.
They don't have degrees in fucking...
And four, it's fucking awesome, all right?
And four, it worked out and it was cool.
It's fucking tits, man. Let's go.
But yes, the ant army. But, dude, but before that, though, like, when he's running in there all big and they're, like, shooting the shit out of him, and then all of a sudden all the, like, the buildings that can fly that are alive, and all that shit comes.
Yep.
Amazing.
And he's just like, oh, they came and all this stuff. Literally, I turned to Jeff, I'm like, it's fucking... I was like, I go, literally Rise of Skywalker. It's the same end shot. Same end shot.
Taking over. They're taking over.
My God.
Marvel and Star Wars have just merged into just one thing.
They took
one property.
They took a lot of the
It's
awesome
all
parts of it.
Well,
They took a lot of the
real
awesome parts of it.
quick.
Sprinkled.
just real quick, with you saying that, apparently, Fiege is trying to be like this position where he is the head of all of it, like Marvel, Star Wars, and whatever else with Disney.
Oh, God.
Also, their ownership license contract with Hulu, because they technically actually only have 2/3 of it. The other third is with Mediacom, Comcast, whatever. That's up this year, I believe, or early next year. And there's something about apparently they could buy out the remaining third for, I think I saw this number correctly, $27.5 billion.
Yep.
Billion.
That's with a B.
27.5 with a capital B billion dollars that they probably fucking have, if not more. So people are thinking, and basically it's more from an investment standpoint, because it's like, well, if you have stock in Disney, this is going to kind of affect it. What?
You're hardly in the shop. I just looked up.
Oh, well, whatever.
Yeah, you're in it.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it was like just like the front quarter of his face.
Oh.
I was like,
Oh, okay. So, let me scoot closer. Is this better? I can't see it.
Yeah.
The
yeah.
lens
Sorry,
is in the way.
I forgot to check already. But
Yeah. So, okay, fine, fast. They probably won't buy it out. They'll probably just be like, okay, fine, we're done with it. Because also, they are laying off 7,000 employees. And then Iger also came out and said how they're going to restructure the company completely and have 3 umbrellas basically underneath one giant one, but it's mainly going to be like studios for all the movies and all the television, all that, the theme park part, and then I think the third one is like memorabilia or something. I'd have to look. But then when I saw that where Fiege wants this job that then overseas, and I'm like, oh, they're trying to do as a company all this restructuring internally too.
Yeah.
So
Big Papa Iger.
So yeah. All right, back to Ant-Man. Sorry, my bad. I mean, just look at me. I'm a dick.
Dude, the fucking funniest part. I mean, not. I guess,
So what I wanted to say was, I think the reason the humor worked so well is because it was so awkward, like a typical Paul Rudd comedy.
Oh yeah.
It was
Is
also
that all
very,
of
I
it was
think
so
this is kind
awkward?
of kind of mature humor in this as well. A lot of adult humor, I think.
Yeah.
God, I have needs.
Yeah.
Well, I have needs, and just she's just God.
And he goes, he's like,
It's just-
I did twice with a woman named Linda, and he just sat there, and I'm
Yeah.
like, what? Like, what?
And him saying that name, I think.
Is that one of the bitches he cheats on his wife with?
Hussies.
So yes, Linda Carter is a character, and so when he said Linda, I was like, "Is that Linda Carter?"
Hank Pym in the comics is kind of a piece of shit.
Got it. That was good. But him just Just don't be a dick.
It's too late.
It's too late. Look at me. I'm a dick. I'm a dick. God, he was so good. Like, I didn't think that... I thought he was going to be, like... I was worried on his character that he'd be, like... They were going to say, like, hey, just be totally emotionless and shitty.
Yeah.
And he was gonna be a boring character. But I'm actually very happy with the way that he turned out.
Yeah.
Just, oh, God, I just noticed the baby legs.
Dude, when they showed his like origin, they lift him out of the water and they show his fucking ass, his little ass hanging out
with the little fucking legs.
Oh my god, dude!
Just looks
like there were just certain parts of this movie. I was like, I'm surprised this is in a Marvel movie right
just
now.
Looked like Humpty Dumpty, dude.
Fuck, they greenlight a Deadpool movie.
Yeah, he did.
He looked like fucking Humpty Dumpty. That's what he looked like.
He really did.
Like, come on.
God.
Yeah, Marvel greenlits one rated R Deadpool movie, and they're just all about the adult humor now. They're just like, bring it in.
Oh, they were saying what the shit and the goddamn.
There was a lot of cussing. I was like, what the? Like, I know they occasionally will throw the swear word here and there, but just like the type of jokes they were making. I mean, the fact that you got a Humpty Dumpty ass shot, like. I was just surprised.
Probably all the real reason why Bill Murray was brought in. Not just the cameo. He was like, oh, no, we can make this funny.
Yeah. Well, and dude, the cool thing about it is that I think that, every fucking shot in this movie, where it's just Scott, it's immediately, like, made known that they know that the kids don't like Ant-Man that much.
No, I know.
And so it's like, so that's why I think, like, these are a little bit more adult, these type of, movies. Because, they're...
And I guess Ant-Man's always kind of been the palate cleanser, too.
Right.
I gotta ask, what'd you think of the daughter?
I thought she did really good.
She has some awkward acting moments, I think.
Alright, so I couldn't get past that.
Okay.
I was like, okay, this actress that, some people are bitching about online, and they're mainly just bitching because of the actress, the whole thing about the actress that played the character in Endgame and blah blah blah. But I will say, like, some people were saying, oh, like, this chick can't even act, and there was times where I'm like, yeah, she just kind of keeps carrying the same facial expression.
Nothing? Like...
Yeah.
I mean, it was like a
okay. I feel kind of good that you're backing me up. Well, you're kind of having the same take as me, because like the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, I feel like her face isn't moving.
I honestly, I think for me,
was she Kristen Stewarting it?
Yeah, kinda.
Hey,
kinda. Except for she had a lot more.
She is a wonderful human being.
She was really sincere.
Okay, I think in actuality, though, I'm pretty sure. Like, a lot of people say, like, she's probably one of the coolest people they've ever met, but whatever.
I don't know. It'd be like that sometimes.
It'd be like that sometimes. You just kind of...
No, I say give her some time to develop. That's kind of what my take on it was.
I don't know. She's from stuff, but I don't really know that I would recognize her or that I've seen it.
No, I mean, honestly, her character, as far as, like, how they portray her in this, is like, she's just some innocent, wide-eyed kid. And
it's true, she was.
I think they just took that a little too far. Sometimes.
I'll say, the whole her being awkward thing, I thought that was just, like, direction. I just thought she was supposed to be kind of awkward and kind of...
She is Scott's daughter, so...
like, that, and it's like, this is her, like, first adventure, and it's in the quantum realm, nonetheless. Like, I just took that she was kind of just supposed to be, like... I don't know.
Because she was super confident and kind of cool, collected in the beginning.
But I think she played off the... I don't know. Her character seems, like, very sweet and genuine and cares, and I think she at least got that across.
Oh, yeah, she called him out. So, like, you ain't done shit since you saved him.
Oh, yeah, put Scott in his place. Just sit down, son.
He's like, what
about something.
She's like, what have you done for us lately?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, damn.
Damn, I didn't realize I was in the NFL. Oh, my
right.
Wow. Hell yeah.
Any other thoughts on the movie, though?
Well, so with her character, I get that they said it all. You didn't see it. Call me campy, call me cliche, whatever. The fact that they just kind of went to a shot and she's running in the suit small, like they didn't really have this like nice, cool, like superhero moment.
That's true.
Yeah, actually, you're right.
Like really, when she went to save that person, it could have just been like you have the shot on her struggling, then out of nowhere, the robot blue head thing, whatever, just gets knocked on his ass, and then she grows. It's like some stunning acrobatic, whatever. Insert superhero moment.
Yeah.
I kind of figured the fact that, they're trying to do this whole, these younger people will take over the reins, and it didn't have that moment with her introduction into the suit and everything, and they just kind of brushed it off.
Yeah, it was more of a joke about how she didn't know how to fight in it.
Yeah. It was hilarious.
That just didn't sit well with me. That was funny.
But that's also why, like I said, I don't really have a problem with her acting, because that's just kind of how they wrote her in the movie.
Oh, yeah.
So to me, her being awkward and kind of a fish out of water thing, I didn't think that was her being bad. I just thought that was the direction she was given, because her character arc in this movie kind of lends itself to that.
You're right. And honestly, I think that... I don't have a problem with her. I think she played very well, within the movie. I think there was just moments for me, I think, that I was just like, eh. You could have, the emotion didn't really match what you were trying to convey. That's
how I felt. Yeah.
I mean, that's fair. I mean, Michelle Pfeiffer is obviously an amazing actress, but I can't stand her character in the beginning of this movie, because I'm like, you don't make any sense right now. Why are you now freaking out about this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
It's true.
But she's a great actress, and she kills it the rest of the movie. So
she went, like you said, she went at the direction.
Yep, exactly.
She went at the direction. So she did exactly what she was supposed to do, and she probably did it exactly how they wanted to. So I guess our problem isn't there.
So what do you guys give the movie overall? If you had to give it a grade, a rating, whatever you guys want to do. Give it A, B, 7, 8, 9. What are you going?
You wanna do
blue, red, green.
You want to do classroom scale? Or what do you want to do?
I don't know.
You want to do like a tier list where we do, D, C, B, A, S? I don't know where the S comes from. Super. I'm just kidding. We'll keep it in numbers. Yeah. What'd you guys give it?
We better stay consistent. We've done pretty much numbers on everything now.
Right.
This one's interesting because I hadn't thought about this at all.
I think I'm leaning in like a...
I'm at like a 7.
I was about to say, I think I'm at like a nice firm 7. It's like part of me wants to lean to 7.5 because there are... I think this movie is worth a watch, and there's some great moments in this movie. It's entertaining.
You're like a brother to me. Yeah.
I'm an Avenger.
I'm an Avenger now.
I'm an Avenger now.
Yep, sure are.
You sure are. You're in, buddy.
Oh, my God. But...
7.3.
Okay. Hey, decimals exist for a reason.
However you guys want to determine how you come to your whack-ass odd number 10th place in the decimal system.
You know what? As hard as, the best way to describe that is as hard as I want to feel strongly about 7.5.
I just can't quite
get there.
Can't quite get there.
7.3.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cut it in half and round up.
Exactly. We're all about positivity here.
Yeah.
Crab dribble.
And with that, I give mine. I'd say I think I liked it. I think I think the entertainment aspect and how good most of these parts looked to me.
Just give it a 10 already. You like it because it was Star Wars?
No, yeah. There are parts in it that fucking made me smile because I knew exactly what the fuck it was.
Well, like I said, the bar. They go into a bar. Like I turn to him. I'm like, this is exactly what this is.
Fucking Cantina Band, dude. Just out there. That's the only thing it was missing. Now, for me, I mean, even just as a superhero movie, I mean, it has flaws, but overall, I'd probably say I'd give it an 8.
Okay.
Yep.
Sweet.
So we got 7, 7, 3, 8. What did you guys think? Let us know in the comment section below. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Think it's okay? Just let us know. Did you want to cut here, or you want to keep going? Because we're 55 minutes in.
Oh.
Do we want to just do our reviews today, or I mean, because we have Last of Us from last Friday, 2 Fridays ago.
Maybe we just. I mean,
We got some news to talk about.
There's news, but
okay, yeah, say because really the only thing.
I mean, we can do the other reviews real fast now. Maybe we just do a little different this week.
Yeah,
we do all our reviews, and then we'll
just
close
end
it out
with the news.
And with
the news, the nightly news that's in the afternoon on a Saturday.
The afternoon news.
All right. So what do you guys want to get into first? Bad Batch.
We can do.
Well, we can probably do that one real quick
Since I think we all have the same feeling about it. And sorry, y'all.
What am I watching? Oh shit! I missed 5 minutes.
And rewind it and start again.
Let me rewind it and start again because I got on Twitter after like 30 seconds of I can tell what this is.
I watched it last night for the first time. And
it's every time I start, like all but 2 of them. And what's hilarious, the only 2 that I haven't done this on are the 2 episodes that have nothing to do with the batch itself.
Dude, it's just like I said earlier, dude. It's the same fucking episode for the 8th fucking time. They're on, they go and they do a mission and they come back.
The episode,
it's like there's no...
The episode with Crosshair and Cody... didn't ever jump on my phone, what's going on Twitter, just watched it, because I was like, holy shit, this is awesome.
And then episode 7.
And then episode 7 is the other one, where I'm like, I didn't do that. I don't know why, just all the ones with the actual patch itself, it's like, this shit is
and dude, that's
boring.
what we were calling on last year, too. That's what we wanted more of. We wanted them doing the thing. I remember saying that before this season came. And now we're getting it, and it's just not delivering. It's just like what they're doing on their missions is just not delivering. It's not it.
And I try to keep in mind, is it really a kid show now anymore? Like, isn't it kind of aimed at us?
I mean, it feels like it. I mean, yeah.
Because we were kids when Clone Wars and all that original stuff that they made came out.
Either that, or my counterpoint to that is that this is strictly aimed at kids. And I mean, because that's
why the episodes don't.
I'm not gonna lie, that's what it feels like for me. I feel like it is more aimed at kids than ever because this
more
does
than
not
ever.
Like. There's just
Clone Wars.
Yeah, they
will
introduce a thread and then they'll address it like Echo leaving and then Omega getting depressed about it and then they close that off for her closure this episode. The next one, it's like I get it. You introduce a thread, you did it this one, but it's like I'm really kind of sick and tired of the what's the adventure this week.
Yeah, I mean,
I just like.
You
can do that, but can you please tie in more stuff? Like,
yeah, please.
You give us stuff like episode 7 and 8, which I thought were 2 good episodes back to back. Which I was actually surprised there was a episode this week. I thought we were taking a break after.
I kind of figured.
And then I saw it like pop up, and I was like, oh. Guess there isn't a break. I guess we're right back in this.
Yeah, I just wish there was more direction for the whole show. Because I mean that's the thing is like now that we don't even know what the big bad is in the back outside of just the Empire. I mean, they're looking for him. They've been looking for him.
That's true because the guy that you thought the Rampart dude, who you figured would be the actual main antagonist of the whole season. He's just kind of taken care of real quick, midway through the season. So
what's their big bad?
Yeah, I mean, what is the antagonist here? I mean, it's the Empire, we know that, but like within the Empire.
Yeah, they need to give us some sort of direction. Otherwise, we go back to our original point. Why are we watching this?
Yeah,
I mean, we say that a lot, but sometimes a lot of these shows fail to fucking deliver on that. I mean, some of them takes a while, but we had direction, we lost it, and now we haven't gotten it back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm very disappointed so far with how they're moving forward. I'm glad that it's here still, just because it gives you a little bit of a carrot until Mandalorian starts next month. But
the gist of this episode is they go to a planet to extract a mineral. A local or some whatever you want to call it on this planet steals their ship. I mean, stop me if I'm wrong.
No.
And then they get caved in. And they're stuck on the planet? Like, that's like literally the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much, because then Omega gets pissed off at Tech because...
He's insensitive.
Yeah. Because he can't feel emotion.
He's not in touch with his feelings.
Yeah.
It's crazy, because it's kind of like they're all bred to be that way, because they were soldiers in a war?
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, and then Omega like sneaks
Whatever.
off, and then eventually her and Tech fall down into the water.
That's true. Yeah.
And then
And the storms just keep following them everywhere.
and then they have their closure and they have their moment of
Yeah.
Tech realizing that.
Essentially, just cliffhangs for however the hell they're going to get off this planet and get their shit back. I presume.
Only moment with any action was in that like valley with all the like creatures running through for away from the storm, and they drop the explosive. And that's it.
Lion King.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
We learned that Wrecker is stronger than Mufasa. By the way,
He could just let
he
him stomp
took
the
them
shit out of
blows.
him.
All right, and he ain't want no bitch.
And he
about
gets
it.
up and he's like, "Oh, back hurts." But
Mufasa's a chump.
Yeah, so Mufasa,
chump.
Mufasa was weak. No wonder Scar killed him.
Good thing it wasn't you protecting the mineral or whatever that fucking blows up. Apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
I give this episode a 4.7. Let's move on.
When things don't
Yeah,
register.
sure. 5 out of 10.
When things don't register on the Richter scale, I don't think you can give them ratings.
That's pretty good.
I'm pretty.
I like that.
I'm pretty.
So 0.
Since I gotta give it something because it was on TV, I would say like probably like a 3.
Gotcha.
This gave me nothing, and it wasn't exciting to watch. There wasn't even a moment of like an inkling of something cool to reference.
No.
Like, come on, guys.
No.
Like, you have such a. I mean, the outreach of Star Wars is fucking huge, and this is all you can come up with. I mean, the hype that was behind the first season. It's
You know
just
what?
down.
Yeah, go.
We're just disappointed because it's Filoni. Okay.
Yeah.
But hey,
I mean,
you know what?
actually,
you know what?
you're right,
Nobody
yeah.
bats 1,000. Okay. He's allowed to miss once,
Yeah,
maybe twice.
He let go of the bat. And
We
just
already let him do, but we already
He
kind
handed
of.
the bat to somebody else. He's like, I'm done.
Hey,
with
he
this.
was-
I got all this other shit over here I gotta do.
He wasn't even holding a bat.
He already kind of did that when Clone Wars very first started, so that's kind of why he doesn't get that break anymore.
Right. It's
Because
true.
the first couple of seasons of Clone Wars are like, what the fuck is this mess? And Ahsoka is just annoying. It takes a bit. That's why I tell everyone
Snips?
that, like, I'm like, okay, if you're going to watch this, go to this website to look up the watch order. Otherwise, it's not going to make any sense. 2, give it, like, 50. Because that's roughly 2 seasons. So, yeah. Ahsoka's really doesn't become actually likable until like season 3.
That's not usually a good
think.
start. Dude, this show's awesome. The first 50 episodes, though, you're just going to have to fight through it. Okay?
Kinda, yeah.
But there is a light at the end of that tunnel.
Oh, and it's awesome.
It's the holy grail.
It is.
I'm telling you, dude. It's
Oh
like,
shit, dude!
if you can power through, you know,
That
you can
last,
power through.
the last 4 episodes of the entire series are just amazing.
Incredible, dude. Just incredible.
But yeah, first 50 totally suck. No, they don't totally suck.
No,
but
there's
they're
things
just-
to like
it's
about
just-
them, and they're just not well done.
Well, so when it started, he chose to do it as a anthology
Like
type
one-off
thing.
stories.
One-off events during the 3 years of the Clone Wars. But again, that's the problem is, like, you know, everyone was like, well, I can't follow this. What the hell? Like, you're saying...
It was frustrating to watch.
Yeah.
It's just because you're like, oh, that's it. you're like, that's
Well, literally, the first season, there's like 4 episodes that are all during at some point in the war, and then the episode 5 is literally like a prequel of these clones of, is it Rex's team or something? Of when they're going through the training facility. And it's the entire episode. So it's like, well, if you're going to do this, why didn't you just do it as one of the beginning episodes?
Yeah.
Like, that's the problem. That's why I say, if you do watch Clone Wars, the animated Clone Wars, that's why I do say, like, Google the watch order and just do that, because it will make a lot more sense.
Yeah, I wish
It
we
is
had that
very
luxury.
It is
back in the day, you know?
right? Exactly, back in the day, yeah. Because it is very odd that you do jump around, like you kind of go for a while, and then all of a sudden you have to go back to season 1 and watch the last episode they made for season 1. It literally, like, chronologically takes place, like, 20 in or some stupid thing like that. Like,
yeah, honestly, I think
after jumping around, I don't know.
Really, the thing that made
Weird.
me so, like, more apt to enjoy that at the time was, like, at that point, I remember I was still, like, even just... like this, like I was like Kirbying all of the Star Wars information that I could possibly take in, like, and it's just like, and you give me, yeah, dude, I'm telling you, it's like, give me everything. You know, I was reading the books.
I have
comics.
a home.
I didn't know that he could do that. The fucking dude that could read minds. I didn't know he could do that.
He has 7. Yeah, that's right.
He like stops for a minute.
Stops. Just had to think about it. Just. Yeah, that's
What's
right.
funny is when he did say that, I was sitting there like...
So I was like,
Me too. I was like...
I was sitting there and I'm like...
kind of...
I sat there and I was like, wait a minute. And I was like, wait. Okay, 5 on the face. Head. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, that checks out, yeah.
Yeah, so I was sitting there. I was like, oh, nah. That was fun. Dude, there's so many fucking funny parts in that.
God, yeah.
Dude, like when he dude, I even fucking just lost it when she fucking jumped up to hit him in the helmet and you hear ding, like the tiny little piece of glass and she's just laying on the ground. I was like, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, so funny.
Good stuff. But yeah, no, Bad Batch, yeah. So Last of Us is the next thing.
Yeah, I'd rather shit in my hands and clap than talk about Bad Batch anymore.
Oh my god.
I'm upset.
Good
If you want to see
God.
that, tune in to the Bulls OnlyFans.
Right. There's your plug. All right, moving on.
There you go, bitch.
Fuck yeah.
Make that money.
He's been asking us for 2 months.
All right, yeah, The Last of Us.
Nobody needs that.
Oh, yes, this was Sam and Henry week, yes.
Fucking awesome.
Great episode.
It was awesome.
It's one of my dude. Second to the first.
I remember saying before watching it, because I was saying to people, like, I just feel like there's not much action yet. Then I think Jay said, this next one, just watch it.
Yep.
Yeah, just wait for the next one.
Yeah. Yeah, I was chomping at the bit last week, dude, because I had watched it. It was that Friday before the Super Bowl, so I was chomping at the bit.
Had to wait the extra 2 days.
I'm telling you, dude. I'm like, fuck. I had to wait 2 extra 2 days, and I had to wait a whole week to talk about it. So I'm sitting there, like, at the end, I'm like, if I can just like hold my tongue. Well, I'm like, was that from the last episode or from the new one?
It's just so crazy. Like, I thought, shit's gonna go down between this, like, I thought they were gonna do it like Walking Dead style. You have this whole, like, society that's kind of ran by this psycho and they all trust her and they were gonna have to deal with that, but then, like, just the way that ending just kind of went down, I was like, oh.
That's what
Yeah.
I mean,
I've tried telling Haley this too. I was like, it established it in the first episode. Just because they make it seem like this is a main character that's going to stick around, don't get too attached, honey.
Right.
Not very many stick around.
Yeah.
And, like, Sam and Henry is another great example of this. Like,
yeah.
Like, I think she thought they were going to be sticking around and it was going to be like them four going for a while. And then by the end of the episode, it's like, no. Nope.
And that's what I thought too, honestly.
I kind of thought that too, but then when she was like, hang on, my blood heals people, and she, like, cut herself to, like, get her blood into his blood on the wound, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, not so much.
Yeah, I was like, at first, I'm like, does that mean that, I was just thinking initially, I'm like, does that mean, does she accelerate shit by putting her stuff on there?
But essentially the episode, yeah, like you said, it's the Sam and Henry thing, and it just kind of progresses through, and so you find out that this guy and not his kid, not his brother, but just some... That's how I took it.
No,
I thought it was his brother.
yeah, it's his younger brother.
Oh, so it's his younger brother? Okay.
And he's deaf. So.
He's deaf, yeah.
Which was a change from the game.
But
I kind of liked it because it kind of raises the stakes for him. I mean, he's a small child. He can't hear his surroundings.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of a cool change. Every change they've done in this series has been just great. Like, I don't have any complaints about any changes they've made at all.
Word.
That's very rare for, like, a game adapted into a movie or a series. That's very
This
rare.
is like, I mean, there's gonna be classes on this. Of just, this is how you adapt a property into a TV show. Just look at the steps they made.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
I mean, just even look at the fucking the clickers, dude. I mean, just and the bloater. I mean, we'll obviously talk about that later, but dude, I mean, just look at the fucking detail on the prosthetics and shit like
that.
Dude,
the fucking little girl clicker. She climbs in and her back feet go over. And
that was so weird.
I was like, I'm glad those things weren't in the fucking game.
That was so freaky. Like the whole, like the way she's tumbling over.
It's basically a human wheel.
I was like, oh man, that's messed up. That fungus is controlling that body real weird.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then she's the one that gets what's her name, Margaret or whatever, just.
Yeah. But no, the whole episode's building up. I was kind of thinking like, so those two like basically choose to team up with Joel and Ellie, and then this whole human society is like hunting Sam and Henry down because Sam is the oldest one.
No. Henry's the older one.
That's right. Henry's the older one. No, okay. Yes, that's right. So basically, Henry, he killed the former runner of their whole society. Who's the dude who put all the clickers and shit in the underground.
Because he was an informant for Fedra.
Yes. So, and then Henry basically chose to kill him because they were going to kill his younger brother.
He basically sold Margaret's brother to Fedra, I think, so that he could get access to medicine for I think it was leukemia that Sam had.
Okay.
So basically, that's why I think he alludes in the episode that like he like is responsible for like killing somebody, but he hasn't ever actually like directly killed anybody because he is the reason that Margaret's brother is dead, and that's why Margaret wants Henry and Sam so bad, is because he's the reason her brother's dead.
He said you got to choose that your brother's life was more important than my brother's, or whatever.
Now then, of course, we just get to this point where they're about out. I thought more shit was probably going to go down as they went underneath this tunnel system, that they were like, oh, well, there's fucking clickers and shit down there. I thought more would happen from that, but no. They just kind of make it through.
I thought it was kind of cool how they did the world building of like, a certain section of society, took all the kids and underground. And I thought it was a really cool detail of how when they go up to the door to get in there, it's basically like a drawing of a castle on there.
Yeah.
And like Sam obviously really wants in, and it's kind of cool in a way because it's like, well, yeah, he would want in there. One, it looks like a kid's place, but two, like, what does a castle represent? It's a fortress. It's to keep bad things out.
Yeah.
It's like I kind of like how that's like the entrance to their.
Yeah.
And then we got some like relationship building with him and Ellie. So
let's build them up so we can break them down.
There's a whole lot of sadness in this show, and it's just it just keeps hitting you.
That's why I think when Brandon, I think, was complaining about our buddy Brandon was complaining about episode 3, the Bill and Frank episode. He was like, it was just too happy for me. And I was like, well, it's about the only bit of happiness and hopefulness you're gonna get in this series. So that's why they put it in there.
I remember when you said that in like 5 episodes.
Right? Yeah. Oh man. So then get to the end. Joel takes out the sniper trying to kill him.
Directly from the game, which was awesome. You have to sneak around to the tower as Joel, and then you end up like killing him, and then taking the sniper, and you got to like shoot all the clickers and shit to defend. Like, that was so awesome.
Because basically Henry does give himself up, so then he can protect the kids, and then the ground rumbles, and it's a horde.
Mr.
Yeah. And dude, that's so cool.
That bruiser with his battle-hardened armor skin.
So good, dude. When he was fucking boom, just fucking meleeing people in the head.
Then he rips the dude's head off.
He rips it.
Dude,
that's from the game too. If you get caught by a bloater, he just literally grabs you and just like rips your face in half from like here.
Jesus.
Hell yeah. Fuck yes. Yeah, that was
this show's
awesome.
so good.
But yeah, I did love how then Joel turns into a sharpshooter and he's like killing them as they're in the crowd. And me just knowing it's adapted from a video game, I was like, I guarantee this is straight up a part in the video game. You gotta hit your shots.
100%. It's awesome.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking so good. I mean, dude, and even the thing is like one of the over the umbrella parts of this episode is obviously that sometimes the world's not better when Fedra's not around.
Right.
Human beings just kind of suck.
Yeah, it's like you think that what you're fighting for is better until it gets there.
It's like, well, it's almost like what is it? I can't remember like what the story is. It's like a movie. It's like, I mean, there's been like plenty of examples of this, of like, you know, people feeling oppressed by a power or government, and they overthrow said power government, and they basically just become the evil that they that they fought to destroy in the first place. So, the show is ultimately, I feel like, about how humanity and how people, how either they cling on to it or lose said humanity in the show. Like Margaret's a great example of like her being like her and her like childhood home about her brother and stuff like that. And then
socialism's a pretty charged word.
Oh God.
We're back to Quantumania again.
I just thought it was appropriate with what you're kind of explaining.
Dude, so there were several parts, like not in just that, but even in the trailers, where like, and this is all out of context, but when I would lean over to you,
oh God, don't say it.
No, I'd lean over to you, and I'm not politically one way or the other. Trust me.
Yeah, you better make that statement before you say what you said to me.
But I'd lean over, and I'm not talking about the exact things that I said this about, but don't want to trigger anybody, but. I'd say, I'm about to say something Republican.
And he said it during one of the trailers, and I laughed because I was like, yeah.
Going only because how much people freak out about the details of who plays who and shit like that. But I don't really care. That's not my political. Being political on this.
It's not what you're concerned about.
No,
when it comes to politics. Yeah.
No, like most of you should be.
Yeah, that'll be fought forever, unfortunately. But
yeah, it was fucking funny though.
Trying to remember, like I know, but
back to Last of Us.
Back to what we're actually here for. Well, so we were at the end. Oh, and then So would you say, like, don't worry, it'll get real sad. Oh, build them up to bring. Quite literally, they get away and get into a hotel and then just wake up and things gonna kill you.
Yeah, and of course he's the one that has to do it too, which is fucking rough. I mean, obviously, all the shit he stayed alive for. You know?
Well, it was actually just kind of crazy because, like, they burst into the room where Joel and Henry are at, and he's, like, attacking her, and then, like, they both, like, get a handgun out. Just Henry was fast with it, and he just points it at him first, and then just kind of...
Which is the last thing I expected to happen for him to be so automatic.
Wow. Yeah, he kind of instinct shot his fucking younger brother.
Who he was surviving solely for.
And that's why it was kind of like kind of chilling when he's just sat there and he's like, wait, what'd I just do? What'd I just do?
Yeah.
What'd I just do? And he just kind of kept freaking out, and that's when Joel kind of knew, like,
give me the gun, please. Give me the gun, please.
Yeah.
Henry, no.
Yeah. And honestly, it's like even like more of a kind of a thought like I was even having while I was watching it. I was like, it's almost like a bittersweetness that he had to, to take his brother out of the world just because obviously of all, like, what kind of quality of life was he going to have as a deaf kid?
And in this world, like, children are treated like trash.
Right.
The people in this world do not value children.
Yeah, especially
They've
with
made that
the
very
slave trade they were talking about and shit like that in the beginning. I mean, I can only fucking imagine.
Which makes no sense because you think, at this point, humanity's crumbling. You're trying to, probably you would want children around so, the human race could keep going on. But fuck them kids, they say.
Yeah. Better them than me. Fuck. Yeah, that's honestly the feel I got from it, But no, it was fucking awesome. This is my second favorite to the beginning, the first episode.
Mm-hmm. What do I want to give this one? What are you going to give it? Kind of leaning between an 8.5 and a 9.
Yeah,
I feel like almost every episode.
I was going to say like a 9.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah, I was.
All right, you talked me into it. Niner.
Ooh, we 9 across the board on this one? Let's go.
HBO with quality television? No way.
The gold
Just
standard.
Don't start calling us Niner Gang or we're going to have to disown y'all.
Oh, I will. I will.
I know you will.
Shell back. I will. Fuck them. That city. That team. All goddamn day, every day.
What do you like, Green Bay or something?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, if it makes you sleep better at night, part of me also, well, and really this is for me, part of me is just like, well, maybe just my asshole QB just doesn't want to beat his favorite team. So I'm like, that's just how I cope, I guess. I don't fucking know. He might be gone anyway.
Too much of the
Fingers crossed.
After his ayahuasca come down, he'll let you know.
Yeah, he's got to go in his 2 weeks of darkness or
Something
whatever.
tells me I'm really...
Over the 6 days.
Again, fingers crossed, but I'm really hoping that the board for this non-for-profit and the GMs and all them, they're kind of like, okay, we're just waiting on what he says, and I think their minds are made up.
Yeah.
I hope your minds are made up. Please tell me your minds are made up, and he's just not.
This is coming from an owner. Okay, yeah. Listen to this man.
Anyways,
is it? We out of reviews? Is it news time?
I think it's news time. I think outside of the trailer reviews we got.
Alrighty, we'll start off, I guess, as usual with the DC. Quick news: Joker 2 image released with Joaquin Phoenix and the Gaga.
It's interesting.
I like it. I think it's a good first still. I think Gaga does a pretty good job of showing almost like this mixture of shock, awe, like a little bit is like kind of like frightened a little bit, but almost at the same time kind of looks like she's kind of turned on. Like,
yes,
it's just like a
because it's very much like she's Harley Quinzel, the doctor, at this shot.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks like I couldn't tell if it was like blood or if it was like makeup from Joaquin, but there was like red like under her lips and on her chin. So either they were getting a little hot and heavy, or she's just got out of a fight. So who knows?
Yeah,
but or both.
I imagine the entire movie is just going to be about how they build their relationship, and then the climatic thing about it is how they escape.
Hope so.
I would imagine that's just the entire movie. But
I'm just really excited for this movie. I'm excited for musical numbers. Never thought I'd say that about a Joker movie, but give them to me!
Give them to me! I'll give it a go.
I mean, hey,
big musical.
You like South Park, don't you?
You are a hater.
I don't like musicals.
You like South Park, don't you?
South Park.
I do.
Then you like musicals.
Then
you like musicals. Do you like Family Guy?
For all the wrong reasons.
Do you like Family Guy?
For all the wrong reasons. I don't like.
Then you like musicals.
Shapoopy.
Usually I just kind of sit there and stare at the screen, but they'll say funny shit and inappropriate shit in the side though, so that gets me right back.
I will say the greatest musical of all time, The Book of Mormon. Now let's move on to the next news, which is apparently the rumor mills are fluttering, and they're fluttering with bullshit, everybody. Grant Gustin to replace Ezra Miller as the Flash.
I saw that. And since the show's in the last season, and they're rebooting the universe, and Ezra Miller's a piece of shit.
Let's go get our Flash who's been Flash.
And James Gunn wants a more wackier, more colorful, family-friendly DC because he knows it's going to work to make money and remain successful. What were you going to say? Let's go get what?
Yeah, let's go get the Flash that's been playing him for 9 seasons, and I think the season premiere of the final season had like maybe 500,000 people watching it.
Hot damn, sounds good. Let's go get the guy. All right.
I like him as Flash, but I like.
I do.
I like him too,
but it's like
at the same time, it's like he's been playing this character for 9 seasons. Does he really want to go play him again for 10 more years?
I think he does, though.
Well, maybe if it's done,
did.
Well, maybe if it's done the right way and it has good direction. Just like it's like the show, like it fell off because it just felt like the same cycle of plot.
Well, the cool thing could be too is that he could be like a more, since he would be he could just automatically maybe go into the DCU as like the experienced older Flash. He's not like younger and kind of like a shithead.
Yeah.
Maybe he could go into the DCU as Barry Allen, and he's kind of older, more mature. Maybe the DCU can introduce a Wally West that will actually work.
The only thing that I think would be cool is if it was him and I can't remember the year in the TV show. I feel like it was like 2030 though, where it says like Flash disappears in a crisis. It's like kind of what the whole show, like the big end arc kind of revolves around in the beginning. It'd be kind of cool if the show ended in that year, at least in that universe, and he disappears, and all of a sudden he pops up in the main DCU, and that's what happens to that Flash. And I think that would honestly be like awesome. That part would be really, really cool to me.
That's what I was thinking. Like when you guys were talking about it, that was the wheels were turning in my head as to how he could get in. But.
And I will say, I am not opposed to Grant Gustin making the up move and the promotion to doing it. I just do not think it's going to happen at all. I just don't see them making that move. It just is kind of an odd move for me. It's been a declining show for a while, which tops them for making it 9 seasons, because I don't know how they made it that far. Not very many shows do.
I haven't watched it since like season 5.
Same, because it fell off very, very hard. First 3 seasons were hot AF.
So I continued on. I liked it, so I mean, I enjoyed it. But then again, I've always just liked the Flash, even
same
flat out period. And so I watched it out of dedication more than anything, I think.
However, I do hope, since there was the Crisis event on the TV show and Ezra Miller popped up in that as a cameo, I do hope at least Grant Gustin pops up when Ezra's like traveling through the time and multiverses and runs into him.
That'd be sweet.
I think that would be cool if he at least got a cameo, but the way I want this movie to end is probably not going to happen. I want him to come home and he's just a different actor. It's just not Ezra anymore. But they're probably not going to do that. It's probably still going to end with Ezra, even if they do recast him later down the line, or them later down the line.
That would be cool. Great transition.
I think that would be a pretty cool way of ending it. Who fucking knows at this point?
It's true. It's true.
Alrighty. On to the next and last DC of the week. Obviously, there was a certain football game.
Running through a timeline and what you're hoping to see when he does that in a movie.
Got a nice hot new trailer because there was a certain little football game that was last weekend.
And what a game!
It was a fucking great game.
It was a banger of a game.
Hell yeah. And the fucking Eagles lost. Yes.
We thought they wouldn't, but they did.
I had Chiefs the whole way only because I fucking hate the Eagles.
That game just went completely different than what everyone thought it was going to go.
Holding. Defense. Very end. The fucking holding call. Oh my god.
I know.
I'll take it all day long because fuck the Eagles, but man, that was shit.
Well, and it's shit just because they didn't call it at all. Like, they was holding like a lot in that game. Yeah. And they just weren't calling it, letting them play.
Matters
and then,
most. And dude,
and he's just like, well, yeah, I did it.
Hold on. I'm getting a call from upstairs. Yes, our golden boy did retire. He's the new golden boy. Fuck! There's a flag! You can't lose this!
I could have called so many more penalties if I would have known this sooner.
I love on the touchdown where they got it mic'd up. Mahomes looked at
you good now?
I can't remember what wide receiver he looked at. And he just goes this way. He goes, I don't know. And that's the one that got the touchdown to Tony. I mean, the other receiver on the other side just goes this, and he just goes, I don't know. Improv got a tutter.
Dude, bad gambling weekend though. Fuck.
Oh yeah,
it was ugly. I'm an offer on the weekend.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's.
But no, like I said, that game, just real quick on the game, went opposite of probably what everyone thought going into it.
It's true.
I thought, Eagles' run game won't be stopped. Their defense will probably eat Mahomes alive because it's like historic, and they got this amazing front seven to assemble.
Oh.
And they are
struggling.
Is he all right?
Oh, he's good. He does it all the time.
Oh, okay.
He's got he's a little dog, so he's got a little esophagus. So like when he like stretches or like rolls the right way, it'll like tickle in his throat. So he has to like, cough to scratch it. Little dogs, man.
Little bubs.
Little old dogs.
But yes, so we get a 30-second teaser,
which then tells us to go online and watch a full, almost 3-minute trailer.
Which I did immediately.
Yeah. I somehow lucked out. I Googled it or YouTubed it earlier in the morning, even before the game was on, and somehow I got there 9 minutes after they posted it. And I was like, score.
Well, dude, weren't they dropping a lot of the trailers on Twitter and shit before they even showed the spots?
Oh yeah,
this one actually as well. Like before it actually showed, Gunn tweeted it out.
What the fuck? Like, come on, dude. Like, I get it, you know, but wait till afterwards. You know, I mean, obviously, depending on where you are, I guess. You know, I don't know, but dude, come on. Like, let it build.
I'm Batman.
Fuck yeah.
Burr, 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 burr. Oh, the music. When you watch that trailer and it's just the Tim Burton music as well, it's like, oh, childhood. Oh, yay.
Yay. Yeah, this, for all of the, like, dog shit this movie has gone through for the past few years. I mean, I think this thing's been in freaking development since...
It's
at least 2016.
100% adapted Flashpoint. It looks sick as fuck. I called it. I literally said Supergirl will have to fight General Zod. It's fucking what's gonna happen. It looks awesome.
Yeah, dude.
Oh man,
so
good.
I'm pretty pumped.
It definitely made me feel a certain way seeing our boy Zod back on screen, just where it all began.
It's just so good because, like, he's saying in the trailer, he's like, I created a universe without metahumans, and I was like, well, that's definitely okay. It's an adaptation, but I'll just say this, like, so the Flashpoint, like the animated movie, basically, Clark doesn't land in Kansas. He lands somewhere where the government gets him, like, immediately. And then they put him...
Stash him underground.
They stash him underground because they figure out the sunlight gives him superpowers. So they stash him underground. Aquaman, for whatever reason, gets seduced by Wonder Woman and has sex with her and sleeps with her. So then Hera tries to kill her. Doesn't succeed. Wonder Woman kills Hera. So then Aquaman, to hold all of the kingdoms together underwater, has to basically be like, I'm pissed now, and has to go to war with the Amazons. Humans get shit on entirely.
As is tradition.
Yeah. Other spoilers is that because of Flash saving his mother, all this shit, Bruce is shot instead of the parents. So his dad, Thomas, becomes Batman, and his mother goes insane and becomes the Joker. It's sick.
Hot.
Sweet.
Sick.
Fuck yeah.
So, like, they're adapting it for this movie, and to me, it looks like... I'm kind of curious if instead of, like, the Atlantean Wonder Woman conflict, that's, like, the role that Zod and Supergirl are going to fill. Like, it's their conflict for the planet. Right?
Yeah, I mean, it would kind of make sense.
It would make sense. This is from the Snyderverse, where in Man of Steel, they tried to terraform the planet.
Yeah.
So, essentially, too, in the trailer, it kind of shows them, and it shows her being underground. Mm-hmm. So then, basically...
And super skinny, because she hasn't had
So basically,
the sun.
The Berries are going to team up with Batman, Keaton Band, to bail her out of the underground facility. Which that scene looked like that's going to be dope. Mm-hmm. I mean, they basically spoil it in the trailer, but that scene looks like that's going to be fucking dope. Yeah. She's going to go up to the North Pole or wherever, get the suit, which it's the Son of Kal-El suit in the current comic run. Yep. Pretty cool.
Sweet.
That it is. Yeah, I'm actually I'm fucking stoked for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and dude, yes, Ben Affleck is back, baby. I don't care about Michael Keaton. Ben Affleck, Batfleck, he's back. And they finally did it, boys. They finally gave him a gray and dark blue suit, like the comics, and even have like the yellow utility belt. And it
makes me.
I heard so many people talk. It'll never work on screen.
Why?
And I kept saying, you can make it work. You just got to use the right shades.
Oh my god, they figured.
Oh my god, they figured it out because it looks sick as. Oh, it looks so good! I can't wait. And then like another thing that got me like super jacked is when they open up the Keaton's cave where it's got all the suits in it, and you obviously got the the nod to the one that was in the movies. It's all burnt up, We also have one
I
that
didn't notice that. That's sick.
I couldn't tell if there's one. It looks like it's either mechanized or it's kind of like a scuba one. So I don't know if it's like a scuba Batman suit or if it's kind of like his version of the armored suit in BVS. But next to it is one with goggles on it and like a hood or whatever, and it's like, does he have a nightmare suit too? And like, what does that mean? And it's like, I was like, I was freaking out. Yeah, this looks so good. I'm so excited to see Zod back. He's on screen right now.
Which, yeah.
Well, dude, didn't they call this one the best superhero movie?
That's what Gunn says. He says it's one of the greatest.
Best ones ever made.
Well, dude,
it's probably gonna be.
If the trailer's any fucking indication, it looks pretty fucking good.
And I still, for the life of me, think
her and Zod going at it. That's gonna be sick.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna be sad though.
And she is a Kara, confirmed. She's confirmed a Kara Zor-El.
Yep, yeah, was confirmed.
Which I was like, oh, okay, dark hair, different. Figured they'd, but again,
people are bitching. You know how they do.
Yeah, it's a flashpoint. Right. It's gonna get reset anyway. It doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, maybe if Gunn keeps her, he's like, we like you, but we got a blonde hair.
Hey, no. All I'm saying is, hey, man.
Although I don't know how she would look with blonde hair.
All I'm saying is, it's a flashpoint,
Be weird.
Barry doesn't save his mom. Kara has blonde hair. Barry saves his mom. Kara has dark hair. Also comes to Earth first instead of Clark.
Good point.
Whatever.
Good point. Good point. Good point.
I like that dude. She's not Clark. It's just, my name's Kara. And I was like, yes. Yes.
Yeah, we were watching the Super Bowl together, and I think you got pretty fucking hype.
I did. I watched it twice because I watched it with just no volume, and then when the Super Bowl, the game went to a commercial, I was like, all right, go back, watch again.
I still, for the life of me, I still think young Barry could be Reverse Flash because they have not said anything about Reverse Flash since they've had the tour leaks about a Dark Flash.
But
it's just like every time you see
that quickly in the trailer.
You do. But like young Barry is wearing yellow, which is really odd to me. But it's like you could also argue that so does Kid Flash or Wally West, and it's like
true.
Maybe young Barry is kind of like their version of Kid Flash for this movie. Mm-hmm. So it's like, and that's obviously there's a lightning color difference and stuff like that. But I still it's really odd to me that they're going to do a Flashpoint story and there's not Eobard Thawne because he has to be there. Like he literally has to be there.
I don't think he's going to be because in the trailer it showed the shot where they're both getting the lightning bolt through their chest, and then all of the promotional photos have been like two Flashes in red suits. And it's like the one red suit you can tell.
It was a repurposed bat suit.
It was a bat suit that they chopped the ears off. Mm-hmm. So, that's the thing, is in the movie, they're both going to get the Speed Force, and then the young one is going to be like, well, I want a suit, and they're like, okay, well, let's spray paint this bat suit red and yellow and cut the ears off, and you can be like another Flash as well. Something like that.
Yeah.
And
I just feel like that's how it's going to go.
I feel like that's how it's going to go too. But it's just I feel like that's going to be a little disappointing for me.
Yeah,
because, and I'm using the word literally correctly. You literally cannot have a Flashpoint story correctly without Eobard Thawne because he has to literally be there
to kill the mom.
Kill the mom. Yeah.
Which that makes me wonder. How are they going to do this? His mom dies. Well, is it just someone who just a breaking and entering intruder or what? I
don't know.
How are they going to do it? Because again, it's going to be interesting how they think up of if they're really not going to have an Eobard in it at all. Then how are you going to make up a plot point scenario where the mom dies and the dad gets framed for her murder?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they may just leave it as it was for however many seasons of the Flash TV series, where you had no idea if you didn't know prior what happened, and then bring it in that way. I mean, they may just leave it like that for now, or if they because they don't have to touch on Thawne then.
I think that'd be lame if they did that. If they just it just looks like a bunch of electricity and magic that kills her, and it's just and then obviously later figure out who it is, but. I would not like that personally because it's just I went through seasons of television for this. I don't want this retold again, like this. we should know who it is, like, when he goes back.
Especially if they have plans to bring that Flash back into the universe. You know, like...
And they've always kind of left, I mean, obviously with the Flash that we know in the Snyderverse DC is, like, it's open-ended with, like, what villains he's fought and shit like that. So, I mean, it's not out of the question that there could be an Eobard that's, like, that does eventually show up.
Yeah, and to what capacity does he show up? You know, I mean, especially in that kind of situation.
For me, at least, like, he just needs to just be there. Yeah, at some point, in some way. Or at least be, like, I don't know, like...
Or maybe he will be the young Barry the entire time, and then at the very end...
that's what I'm kind of hoping, is that he is, like... Because then it would kind of lean into...
Keaton's Batman has
because I know in Flashpoint...
Use a gun?
What?
So then Michael Keaton's Batman has to do the one thing Batman never does, and he has to use a gun?
Oh, no.
Spoilers for the animated show, but... Yeah.
So I'm wondering what they're going to do with that, too. I wonder if they're going to do a curveball, and I wonder if he actually is, like, Bruce Wayne from the Burton-verse, or are they actually going to twist it on its head, and he actually is a Thomas Wayne from a different
That he's
universe.
Thomas Wayne, yeah.
I think that would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
I really, because the way Flashpoint ends is that Batman gives him a note to take home to give his son Bruce.
Yeah.
And I really, really, I don't know how they're going to do that if he's not Thomas Wayne, but I want them to somehow figure out a way that Batman still sends a note home with the Flash, and it still has some emotional impact behind it, because that was, like, one of my favorite parts of the ending, at least of Flashpoint, is Thomas giving that letter for him to hand to Bruce when he went back to his timeline.
I wonder if there's, like... So the Dark Flash is in it.
Mm-hmm.
I just wonder... So...
For all of them have to exist kind of at the same time, really, for it to make sense.
Yeah, it's like... And the Dark Flash is kind of an interesting route, too, of them going that way, because what does that mean? Is this going to be like Savitar in the Flash series, where it's like a future evil Barry Allen that went insane, which is probably what it's going to be.
It just goes for movie purposes.
No, Savitar was
the dark, you know.
He was Savitar was the he was because you know how in the television show how he can run so fast that he creates two instances of himself.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Savitar was just one of those that survives whatever the main Barry needed him for, and then that's why he goes insane and goes evil, because he's like, oh, I was this version of myself that got created to die, and I didn't. So then he like went crazy, and then he became the fastest man, like faster than like his normal self, I guess, whatever. But yeah,
and he also got this really cheap-looking, dumb-looking, bulky-ass suit that just looks terrible on screen. It's great.
Yeah.
Later seasons of Flash are awesome. Yeah, totally. Yeah. I think that rounds up the Flash.
Yeah. Nothing else really to say on it. I mean, it looks hype as shit.
Can't fucking wait.
It does. After all this bullshit. June?
Not soon enough.
Yeah, I know.
It's over the summer, yeah.
But, after all the fucking bullshit and mud we had to fucking get dragged through to finally see glimpses of this supposed movie we didn't know if it was real or not, we finally got a nice, promising-looking trailer, what it actually looks like it may deliver on being one of the better superhero movies. So, can't wait. June can't come soon enough.
It's true.
I seem to remember some other trailers dropping in this little game we were watching.
Yeah. Of course, naturally, one of them, we just reviewed the movie.
So we don't have to talk about that
one. But the other one was another Guardians trailer, another 30-second spot.
Since you've been gone.
And if you saw the whole thing, which we all have a nice refresher, because of course they played it when we went and saw it.
Yeah, right. On the IMAX hotness.
On the IMAX hotness. It starts kind of funny with Quill, just fell in love, then she died. Then she came back, she's a total dick. Well, that's the gist of it, yeah.
It's so good.
We actually finally got to see the High Evolutionary in this one. His face looks fucked. Whatever.
And I think in this one it shows like two. I think there's going to be. We'll see a younger version of him too before he does his surgeries, because there was one where he didn't have that on him.
Okay, yeah, I thought I noticed that he looked like different in a couple shots. So
that's interesting to see.
Throwing some flashback footage there, because like you said, it'll be before maybe he does whatever he does to himself.
He just wants to make everything perfect.
Yeah,
Kevin.
Like Rocket said, like he didn't want a better world. He's like, he just didn't like things the way they were.
Yeah.
And like that was
Good
like,
part.
damn. From the trailer, I'm still convinced that Drax dies.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And honestly, all the shit with Bautista and all that. But anyways, gosh, I'm trying to remember like if there's anything else in it that's like.
There's not really much that was new other than the very end when Gamora was like, it doesn't sound like you're in love with me. It sounds like you're more in love with her, or something like that. And then he just starts like looking at her and just
what? Stop looking at me like
your
that.
eyes, they're so black.
Yeah, my father tore these out of me as a form of replaced these as a form of torture. I'm just saying, he chose pretty ones.
Chose a nice set.
We got to see very quick glimpses of the Adam Warlock using his powers. And that's why I think Drax dies, because part of me wonders if Adam Warlock is going to kill him. Like, whenever they're fighting him.
As long as Drax goes out, sacrificing his life for all together now. Family. Family.
I think that's the first thing we said when we sat down in the theater. We're sitting there and like, of course, the first thing Fast 10.
Family.
Family.
Fast 10. Now, I know I love Marvel and the MCU, and there's 31 movies, but Fast and the Furious did not need 10 movies.
They didn't need 4. 3 was good enough. Like, after Tokyo Drift was the last halfway, within a stone's throw, reasonable driving and racing that you can possibly think of. I mean, even, dude, okay, Too Fast, Too Furious, obviously, is probably my favorite one.
And that one's not better than the first one.
No, I mean, it's my personal favorite.
Too Fast, Too Furious is like campy and
yes,
shitty.
It is.
And
I just like it because at that particular moment, as far as a movie, it's not better. But no, it's like for that moment when they brought in Ludacris and they fucking brought it to Miami and like just the glitz of all the fucking cars. When I was a kid, I just fucking just keep
eat it up.
Yeah, Need for Speed Underground.
Yeah, dude. Right. Exactly, dude. Yeah. I mean. Oh fuck! But dude, that's the last bit of it. Mm-hmm. After that, it turned into fucking pulling fucking vaults down the road with chargers. And
we
shit.
Joked like, "Oh, when are they going to go to space?" And
they fucking
went to space. So
I'm telling you, I remember one of my buddies was going to go see it. And I'm like, "Oh, fuck off!" I'm like, "No, you're not." He's like, "Oh yeah, I am." I'm like, "Watch, guaranteed they go to space." And the next day he comes in. I was like, "How was your movie?" And he's like, they went to fucking space. I'm like, I fucking told you they're going to
I was told that this week by coworkers because they're talking about watching it, and I was like, why even watch any of them past the first 2? And she just goes, in 9 they go to space, and I'm like, just stop talking.
Just bad.
And I'm like, and I even said, and let me guess, they drive a car out of a satellite, and it just happens to like somehow fall back down to Earth, and they don't die. And I think she said yes.
Hell yeah.
For family.
Family.
God.
Never tear apart this family.
No, dude, it's fucking trash. It's just
Thank you.
When I turn on Hobbs and Shaw, I remember I swore I was
That's
never
the
going to watch
spinoff, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And I swore I was never going to watch that fucking movie. And I was like, man, it was sitting there like in my queue. I'm looking at it. I'm like, God damn it. I'm like, and I turn it on.
It's The Rock, Statham, and Idris Elba. I got to have it.
Dude, I don't think I lasted 20 minutes.
I've actually heard good things about Hobbs and Shaw. I've never watched it, though.
It's just, dude, it's like you're trying to get the feel of like the original Fast and Furious, but it's an explosion of fucking action.
That one's supposed to just straight up be just a ridiculous action movie.
It
is. That's like, you should know what you're going into, right?
You should. Yeah, you really should. And I did, and I still hated it. I
still turned that shit off after 20 minutes.
As far as I could get. I
still turned that shit off and then turned on John Wick because I needed some good shit.
Hell
in my
yeah.
veins.
Fuck yeah.
fucking more sick action.
Dude, have you seen that dude on TikTok that fucking does random stuff like with the John Wick like suit on, and he has like a wig on, and he does random shit around the house, but he does it like John Wick going through his shooting scenes.
God.
And dude, it's like he does like that, and like it goes down different hallways and shit. Dude, I fucking lost my shit. That dude's fucking hilarious. Those movies are fucking mint. And and they'll keep making them as long as people keep watching them. That's what they said.
Yep.
So you keep watching them, we'll keep making them.
Yeah, other than that, I don't know if there really was much new for the Guardians trailer.
No.
I think it was kind of mostly just rehash stuff.
No.
Yeah.
And you have to watch it probably slowing down to really actually catch the Adam Warlock stuff. It's pretty quick.
Yeah.
One thing I was going to bring up, I forgot.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of movies that we don't want to watch anymore with Fast and Furious, I watched Morbius the other day. Finally.
Oh God.
I spoiled the end credit scene on purpose for you, so you wouldn't have to do that.
Well,
we tried to make you avoid this pain.
Now you want to talk about a fucking plot line.
No, it's about to be worse. He's about to say he didn't think it was that bad.
I didn't think it was that bad.
Oh my. And thanks for watching, everybody. Feel free to dislike. No,
I can't do this anymore.
I watched it for what it was. Didn't hate it. Didn't love it. Didn't hate it.
Didn't love it.
Didn't love it. Didn't love it. Didn't hate it.
Movie is fucking terrible.
I think I was really watching it more so like just as a soul movie.
Let me follow-up question. What do you think of the Venom movies?
Oh, I don't mind those either.
Oh, so. Yeah, that makes sense then. Checks out.
Yeah.
Well, but I don't mind those movies, but Morbius is just on its face. It's just so... You want to talk about fucking... That movie's plot is on light speed.
Oh,
they fucking... That plot and Morbius, the plot, they've gone to plaid. Like, I mean... It's totally just... This needs 5 hours added to it, apparently. Like, just slow down.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
This is not the Marvel content I was preparing to talk about here. You're sabotaging me.
No, I kind of
get me in a
threw a wrench in his engine.
I couldn't wait to bring it up. Like I was waiting for your reaction.
I can't wait to trigger these two and say that I actually enjoy this piece of shit movie with an end credit scene that makes absolutely zero fucking logical sense.
Yeah, I don't even think I watched the end credit scene, so, I know you told me about it, but I didn't watch it. But.
Alright, well, speaking of disappointing, though, in other Marvel news, so we did get the poster for the Marvels movie. Immediately, everyone noticed at the bottom, November 10th. It's delayed again. It is not coming out in the summer because of what's coming out in the summer. Because there's Flash, and then there's a bunch of other shit that I can't remember. But yeah, so Disney straight up, let's push this when it can make a lot of money. We'll push this one. We'll push this one down the road.
Make sure we capitalize.
Push this one down the road.
So now, our disappointing movie slate for how long we have to wait for everything.
Oh, God.
Gets worse.
It is worse.
Yeah.
And this brings me into Kevin Feige spilling the beans in an Entertainment Weekly interview. Need to talk about Kevin.
Kevin.
No one talks to Kevin.
No one talks to Kevin.
No one talks to Kevin. Well, apparently Entertainment Weekly talked to Kevin. Kevin said that in the Marvels, though, speaking of the movie, this was kind of... I don't really plan to actually go through this whole damn thing. I just kind of read it and I cliff note what I thought was kind of cool to talk about. He says Ms. Marvel steals the show in the movie. So they've obviously already well screened it and they're proud of it. And he said that she steals the show. So I guess look for her to maybe be the best part of the movie.
Okay.
I've heard good things about her show. I just personally couldn't get through it. But I also, I think I only watched like an episode or two. So
I'll admit, I've always kind of thought her character was like... I just always kind of thought it was stupid. Like, the whole... Her power is she makes herself essentially the Hulk. Like, she just gets big or gets big fist.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. I just never really cared. I like how the show, they make it more about how it's like this crazy, shit, what's the word I want to use here?
Quantum energy.
I mean, that's essentially what it fucking is. Jesus
Make it more quantum.
Quantum energy, fine.
Yes.
I just liked it more. Liked that portrayal more. But, yeah, I mean, it's a decent show. I enjoyed it.
I've heard a lot of people just really like the family interaction in the show.
The dad's fucking
I've heard,
hilarious.
the dad is
in
awesome in it.
He is hilarious in it, and he's awesome. Yes, it's it's more of a show that's about
family. It's all connected.
There's not enough family.
How do we keep getting back to this? Anyways, he does say too that for them at Marvel, they felt that when you get the shot of all three of the heroes on the same screen, they had the same chills as the first Avengers. It's that same feeling of oh yay, they're all together. I guess it makes sense because Photon was introduced in WandaVision, Captain Marvel obviously just own movie, and then Ms. Marvel her own show. So if you when you're the hardcore nerd and you watch all this shit like me, it probably will kind of feel okay, cool, we finally get this team up. Which we really haven't had in a while. Because, I mean, after the first Avengers, it's well, then you don't have that feeling in the next ones. So
yeah. Plus, I would say the closest we've probably felt is, maybe the first Guardians. Well,
or the first Guardians,
and then, No Way Home.
No Way Home kind of felt like that. And that's because of the nostalgia of Toby and Andrew with Tom.
Oh, and then, of course, there's On Your Left. And all the portals.
Well, that is hype as shit.
Yeah, true.
And
so that's kind of an all-time hype moment for Marvel.
Yeah.
That really is. It really is.
Yes.
When he kind of scratches through on the mic or whatever when it's
yeah.
That's fucking great.
The biggest takeaway though for me, for everyone on this interview, so then Kevin eventually alludes to they're slowing the pace down. He's like, all right, let's put the brakes on it. Let's not release a bunch of stuff right away. So they're going to start taking their time, I guess, in post-production. It is going to delay stuff from coming out. So obviously Marvel's is one of those movies. Which, again, I more think that they, and a lot of people are saying too, that I think they really only did that one just because they don't want it to come out in the summer to try to rival The Flash being one, because they pay attention to social media. We're all hyped for that. But
is the new Transformers out then too?
Might be.
Yeah.
Like I said, I know.
I know in June there's 2 or 3 pretty good.
And summer is always the summer months are always when everything comes out because you don't have teenagers high schoolers aren't in school. Mm-hmm. So it's when you're in the movie industry, it's ideally when you're going to make the most money.
Oh yeah.
Days are longer. It's more light out.
People are outside.
They're doing stuff. They're doing stuff well into the night. Again, it's when you make all your money. So they, I think, on that decision to delay this was one, maybe for part of this whole, let's slow things down, go through more post-production to clean stuff up so we don't rush shit out and get some not so great shows like She-Hulk out there.
Right.
Okay, I don't hate it entirely, but
no,
it was some of the episodes
could have been better.
What the fuck is that?
Could have been way better. I mean, maybe that's the goal. Spend the time.
I think the goal is to spend the time and probably to clean up some shitty looking CGI too and stuff like that. So they're taking the time, so that kind of explains that. But in light of that, so since this interview, and I saw this everywhere, so I'm not really going to say any one direct source because I legitimately saw this everywhere, that Loki and Secret Invasion are the only set-in-stone series releases this year for their Marvel properties on Disney+. That the other two that were supposed to come out, which they are blanking from my memory, because I got bad memory, but those are now looking like they're going to be 2024. So,
overall, I would say that's probably a smart move for them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Phase 4 was a very good indication of them needing to do that.
Yeah, and they've been pretty good timing releases for all of their projects. I mean, as far as drop dates and moving things around to make sure that they're going to be at a high exposure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the interviewee, Phase 4 was a transitional era. Several of your OG left after Endgame. You introduced a whole new group. You started to embrace television shows, launching multiple on Disney Plus. Feige basically goes down this thing, and he says, so people will see that as we get further into Phase 5 and 6, the pace at which we're putting out the Disney Plus shows will change as they can each get a chance to shine. Interviewer immediately says, so when you say change the pace, do you mean spacing them out or putting out fewer shows a year? And he goes, both, I think, which, that is what you're doing. But, yeah. So, yes. Oh, real quick. You talked about how you've been at Marvel for 23 years, because, yes, he has been with, like, Marvel projects since the first X-Men. Mm-hmm. It's been about 15 years since Iron Man and Quantumania is movie number 31. 31, which is so weird because Baskin Robbins, 31 flavors.
Oh, man. Dude, that fucking part.
That was so dumb. It made no sense.
He's so funny, dude.
But it's so stupid because, like, why would one just randomly be there in a fucking Baskin Robbins uniform? Well, that's just pure stupidity.
Well, didn't you hear him when he's explained it? That every decision that you could have ever made, a version of you, as far as the possibility of that decision, so he could, in one of those versions, he'd be fucking still working at Baskin Robbins.
All of it, like when they were doing the opening montage real quick, and they showed like how it's the same actor that's the boss from all I could think of was in the first movie. He's like, yeah, Baskin Robbins always finds out. I just thought of that. I was trying not to die laughing.
Dude,
guys probably would have been like, what's the idiot talking about or laughing at?
Dude, the fucking mountain of fucking his clones and shit. That was so
like I said, straight out of the first one with the ants. It was just him instead. But
yeah, sweet.
Other takeaways with the Kevin Feige interview. I don't trust him to. That's my flask.
Oh, okay.
With ice in it. Yeah, I got an insulated one.
I was gonna say your jug.
Yeah. The Captain America wanted sweat. It's like, well, I need an insulated one because that way one stays cold and two, the ice doesn't melt as fast. Dude. Okay, so Feige went over to Star Wars. Yeah, in this interview, he's a freaking Trekkie. Says he's a huge Star Trek fan.
Well,
I don't know how
was the problem.
Yeah. You know? Now I don't feel good about this.
So you're saying
one or the other? We can't. It can't be both.
Kevin, no one talks to Kevin is a Trekkie.
Is this why no one talks to you?
Yeah, right. Should be if it's not.
Shit, I gotta drink this water. I'm sweating.
Unlike his insulated bottle.
Damn right.
Oh yeah, I hope we got that glug glug.
Shit.
We're releasing a new ASMR
I
channel.
want money, Iron Flask. Whatever. All right.
I want money.
How did he put this? It's kind of funny. No. Sorry. So, he basically, I can't find it directly. He basically got asked about the X-Men coming into the MCU, and he just shut it down.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, that one, he was tight-lipped. He was like, oh, nope.
We ain't got any news on that.
Parentheses, no response.
Because they brought up, the interviewer brought up about, he's like, big introductions in Phase 4 was mutants, and Namor is like, and Kamala Khan are both explicitly referred to as mutants. What can you tell us about how mutants and the X-Men may or not play into the future? He goes, I think we've said the word once, and he goes, Kamal talks about a genetic mutation, and Namor references him to himself, a mutant amongst his own people. Well, yes, because that's what he is. Mutant is a real generic term, not a comic book term. Okay, Kevin.
Oh my! What a cop out!
Indeed.
What a cop out! That's just classic misdirection.
He said
that's a PR statement.
Just a word.
Oh yeah. He further alludes to the question is how to do it and when to do it, and that's something we've been working on for years. Now we know, but we're not going to talk about it. And it says laughs in brackets. So
I knew it had brackets.
Yeah.
I knew it had brackets.
Yeah. So. Yeah, and then I think he's pumped about Deadpool, and having Hugh come back is awesome. And
Fuck yeah.
He confirmed the whole plot line. We've brought this up before, talking about Thunderbolt Ross being the POTUS in Captain America 4.
Yeah.
Well, it got made a big deal again because he just confirmed it in this interview. Like it's coming from his mouth, so it's confirmed. It's like, well, I mean, it was in Black Panther. Oh, it's dead now.
That's all right. We're about to wrap up anyway, I would assume. After
Yeah.
yours, because I don't think Jeff had any news. So yeah, you're basically.
Well, I can make it quick.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's all right.
He also kind of stated that the de facto leader of the Thunderbolts movie is going to be Winter Soldier, which I kind of figured they would try to make it the sister, Florence Pugh's character.
Oh.
Yelena.
Yeah.
Something.
Yelena?
Yeah.
Yelena?
Yelena, yeah.
Yelena, yeah. I kind of figured they'd try to make it her, but I guess not. So I guess it's going to be Bucky. Kind of hype. They know the story that he also... So the last thing from the interview, they know the story that they want for Spider-Man 4.
Yep.
Now they just got to write the script.
What are they thinking about?
God, I wouldn't even know.
I wasn't sure if they...
Yeah, I don't think he got into that, but...
Fans everywhere, and I kind of agree with this, a lot of people want Black Cat now. Because since the last one ended, and he's clearly not going to pursue MJ, now they want, like, the time in his life where he dates Black Cat / Felicia, and a lot of people.
That would make sense, because I know people have been kind of
that.
wanting Black Cat for a while, and we've gotten MJ twice now, and we've technically gotten Gwen Stacy twice, too, but he only dated one of them. But she was in the original trilogy, too, but...
Well,
so this is kind of cool. Like,
dates her for a night to make MJ jealous.
Hell yeah.
Oh, wait, you're right. You're right. He did, actually. He did.
I might go back and try to watch that movie just for that goddamn part. Oh my god, it's so cringe and awesome.
So cringe.
God, just being a kid, Spider-Man this movie's awful. Why is he emo?
Why is he emo?
Why is he emo? This is as emo as can be. Very last thing of Marvel. So they have come out and said that they will commence the casting for Fantastic Four. And they're going to do Susan Storm first because they want the actress to be cast and then get complementary actors around her. So they basically want to base the team around Invisible Woman. Which...
That's intriguing.
I guess since it's like they're a family,
it makes sense that they're a family. To me, I would have...
Because mom keep it together.
I for sure would have done Mr. Fantastic and Sue first, because I think the main chemistry that you need to get right is between Sue and Richard. Mm-hmm. Like, you need to make sure you get an actor and an actress that have really good chemistry together and can play off each other really well.
John Krasinski and Emily Blunt.
I mean...
Wait, what?
Oh, sorry. Who said that?
Who said that?
Camera's not on, so we don't know.
Yeah.
But, interesting. I wonder if that means that she's actually going to be kind of like a really kind of a focal presence then in the MCU overall, or at least in the Fantastic Four. I wonder if she's going to be like the main kind of person, which is kind of...
Might also work if they ever cross it over and she eventually meets Namor.
That would be interesting.
It would probably be better to kind of have her as okay, when we think of MCU Fantastic Four, the first thing we think of is Invisible Woman. Maybe that's true. That's how they want to do it.
And then you finally get to meet the real Namor, where he's obsessed with Sue. for all of eternity.
So, does she willingly go, or does he basically force her to live there when they're, like, together for a time in the comics?
I don't know if I actually read that comic.
Yeah,
I know all I really knew about Namor before even Wakanda Forever was he's basically an Aquaman, and he's obsessed with Sue Storm. That was the only real things I knew about him. And he's an anti-hero.
I was going to say, and that's usually, like, the main 3 points that everyone will even talk about, like, if you try to, like, look up shit online on any social media, so.
I'm very, very intrigued as to what they're going to do with this team. Because every live-action adaptation so far, granted, MCU didn't make it, but so far, they've all been pretty garb.
Well, the one thing that needs to be a home run is Doctor Doom, because he's a big piece of Secret Wars. So this movie needs to, like, get made and establish these people.
Yeah, agreed. And I am actually, Doom is going to be very, very intriguing to see who they pick, because, that's going to be a very, very important casting. But Marvel usually does very well with their casting, so I'm not exactly scared.
Right. And as long as they're taking their time like they said they are and really going to spend the time necessary to do those things right, hell yeah.
I feel like this is one of them. I feel like this is one Marvel has to get right. I mean, it's Marvel's first family. Family. I'm just naming this episode Family.
Yeah.
Might as well.
For family.
But they have to nail this team, like, especially with the trajectory kind of the MCU's kind of going. It's kind of fluttering right now.
It needs some home run hits.
Yeah, it kind of needs something to kind of come out and kind of remind us of the good old days of the MCU. Yeah. At least for most. Yeah, I hated most of the early days of the MCU. So whatever.
I just now thought of this. So again, like, the Shang-Chi's rings looked exactly like Kane's technology.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I like, too, how, like, in it, he was like, don't let him close the ring. Or don't let him, like, stop the rings from moving or something.
Yeah.
Part of me just wonders if, like, all that's going to play into something later.
Yeah, it's got to probably have some sort of
I've been wondering that, too, because his rings and Miss Marvel's bangle
brace, the
bracers,
thing.
they have like almost like the same almost etchings that we've seen before.
And the way they move is all like similar. It's like that rotation around to cause that power to give them powers.
Makes you wonder if, like, the 616 variant then is one of them that would have went way back in time, because the whole thing about the rings is, like, they're so old they don't know how old they are.
Yeah, and that's been a theory that's been popping up too, is that, and I think they even said that maybe it would have been Ramat Tut version that went so far back, and then, like, he's the one that gave.
Yeah, that's what I would think.
So hopefully the one thing too, and I know we kind of already talked about Quantumania, but I thought it was said that after watching this movie, it was going to become more clear what Phase 4 was about. I could have swore I heard, like, either Feige or somebody from Marvel say that. And
he did.
And at the end of the movie, I'm just like, I still feel like Phase 4 was just all about loss. Like, I don't see how this necessarily, other than, in Phase 4, we started to see the branching of the multiverses and stuff like that.
Which really the only show that really screwed with that, 2 shows that screwed with that, was WandaVision and Loki, the first 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
All the other shows were just to introduce characters that you want to get onto the big screen eventually.
Yeah, I mean, that one moment when all the all the variants are saying they're starting to realize, that's what all Phase 4 was for?
Like, they're starting to realize there's a multiverse.
Yeah, it's like, so that, okay. So that was that.
And honestly, then I don't even know if it's necessarily there.
Was the only other one.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Like, literally, I think the only people that definitively would know at this point would be Loki, Doctor Strange,
Chavez.
Oh
yeah, Chavez.
Who?
Wanda.
Because she's definitely.
Yeah.
She lied.
Yeah.
She lied.
Yeah, certainly.
Oh, who?
She's probably gonna have to be the one that saves them.
Who shows up at the end of Multiverse of Madness to take?
Oh, Dormammu's daughter, Clea.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think she probably seems like she knows too, the way she was talking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
she's like, "Yo, dude, that shit you did, bad. Come with me.
We gotta fix some shit.
Bad CGI. Sounds good."
So fucked up.
So that's really all I had with Marvel. Anything Star Wars news other than get hype in about
a couple weeks,
11 days.
Yep. Just shy of 2 weeks. Got the Mando coming.
I'm pumped.
Yeah, outside of that, obviously all eyes are on that date, but...
Had to think about it. Saw some asshole on Twitter tweet how, imagine going into a show and you had to, watch this whole other show to be answered a question of, wait, why is this character automatically just back? And I sat there and I was like, man, I'm such a nerd. I'm like, I gotta think about this. What the hell is he talking about? I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. Grogu. He totally, got him back in Book of Boba Fett. So, if you only watch Mandalorian... you're gonna be a little confused.
Well, I mean, that's very similar to the same format that they're having with Acolyte. If you don't read the High Republic or the High Republic books, the new publications, you ain't probably gonna know everything you need to know about Acolyte.
Sweet, dude.
Yeah.
So I gotta read that?
I would hope that's not the case. I would think they would approach it like you will get more out of it if you've read the books rather than you're just going to be lost. I was going to say,
because that's what they're doing with Marvel is more you get more out of it if you watch everything else. Now, do you necessarily have to watch everything else? No. But you get more out of it.
I think that's what they'll do as well. But there's a reason why Star Wars is going and actively supporting character introductions, weekly character introductions from High Republic to try to get people familiar with these people. They're force feeding.
There's going to be a whole lot of people that everyone's going to be like, who are these people?
Yeah, and if you don't know, then that's going to take so much of the... Because that's the thing, Star Wars is all about depth of the situation. Obviously, there's a lot of grand scenes and shit like that, but as far as, the information itself, the depth of it is what's most important in Star Wars. And
True.
And if you don't have the basis for it from High Republic, just like I always talk about, read the fucking books. Because that is going to make your knowledge of Star Wars, or make the movies, make the shows, make everything so much better.
Well, the problem with that, man, is I'm reading comic books right now.
I know.
I started Supergirl World of Tomorrow.
How is it?
I try to get through it.
I haven't gotten the chance to start The Authority or Supergirl.
The Authority is the other one. I should go read.
I'm actually really excited to read that one.
I don't even know what that's really about, so at all. Don't know characters, any of it. But no, it's pretty interesting so far.
Interesting in a good way?
Good way, because spoilers, it's Supergirl in space. But she's already, fully an adult. So, there's no, origin plot. I don't know if maybe the later issues get into some background-ish stuff. I doubt it. But it's, mainly set, everyone knows who she is. And... it's just kind of this adventure she takes with this other individual. She was way out in space next to it starts out she's way out in space next to a planet with a red sun. So yeah.
I might have to...
I don't know.
Might read some comics tonight.
I think each comic's only 30 pages, so...
There's 8 issues in that one, right?
There's only 8 issues in it,
So that was a limited run.
Yeah.
I'm too balls deep into Harry Potter, the new game, to read anything.
I want to get that. I just haven't yet.
Dude, it's fucking so
I've heard it's awesome.
I've heard it's awesome, but video games being expensive, and we have that trip coming up, I'm I'm going to wait to get this.
Yeah, I bit the bullet just because I was if I don't do it now, I got my taxes back, and I'm if I don't do it now, I'm not going to buy this fucking game. And I was and then I'll regret it. Now that I bought that motherfucker, dude, I played it, I think, 6 hours the first night, got through 2%. And and I was hauling ass, trying to see as much as I could, because it was getting late. And dude, I don't know if there's much of anything about that fucking game that I would personally myself change. I mean,
nice.
the combat, the progression system between targets, the spell casting systems, the maps are fucking beautiful, and there's no glitches. Typically there's something.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. I have seen nothing yet. And the dueling systems, the counter systems, and everything's so good. And there's so many side quests, and they're all worth a shit. Sometimes you had side quests. So back in the old RPG style games, where you take this to somebody in town. No. You actually.
Hey, you see that book over there on that shelf?
Go fetch it.
Grab it and hand it to me, please.
Yeah.
There's 50 XP points.
There you go. Exactly. And
go get 10 pelts of bear skin.
Yeah, and that's the thing. There's really none of that. I mean,
that's good.
Like right now, I'm in Slytherin, and I'm trying to do all the horrible shit just to be just for fun. And
I'm going to do that, but I'm still going to just join the house I want to join.
I love the meme. I love the meme on Twitter.
I'm going to be an evil Hufflepuff.
I don't know if you guys have seen
common room is awesome.
They all look pretty sweet.
That's what I identify as in the Potter world. So I took the test online, and yeah, I'm a Ravenclaw. So that's what I'm going to choose in the game.
Dude, their fucking common room's dope. And then the Slytherin common room, it's like just a brick wall, and when you walk up to it, like a snake goes up, and the door appears. Like it opens the door, like your ability to go through. It's fucking cool as shit. And you can fast travel a lot of places. Like that's the one thing, dude. Like Hogwarts, you will get fucking lost, turned around 8 different ways. I mean, a lot of it. There's no quest direction either.
Good. Yeah, that should be accurate.
Yeah,
because Hogwarts, you should be able to get lost in.
Dude, and that's the thing is, I've played probably collectively now. I mean, and that's nothing crazy. I'm not too crazy into it yet. Maybe 12, 13 hours, and I haven't even fucking scratched the surface.
Did you do the meme though?
Do the meme?
You see the meme that was tweeting about this game, or it was circulating on Twitter? It just says on top, it's me the first 5 minutes in the game, and then it's got Voldemort when he does that VOD.
It says me, and an NPC approaches me, and
dude, it's so fucking funny. And the thing is like you have to torture and murder people to get the ability to use those spells. You have to torture people in the game.
Do you get the Cruciatus curse too? Can you get that?
You get all. They said that you get all 3. They said you get all 3.
There's a quest series for all of those, and you have to go on
yeah.
There
ain't no way I'm gonna be pure and good in that world,
bro. Dude, the thing is, when they do that, the Abracadabra, whatever they do that, it puts a fucking green X on them, this fall dead.
The only thing that's going to depress me is you won't be able to probably get the Sectum Sempra spell because Severus Snape hasn't created it yet.
Right.
That's my favorite spell in all of Harry Potter.
Yeah. Right now I'm doing the Merlin trials. So you're going, yeah.
This game, I've heard so many guys. Yeah, I just I'm with Kevin. I just don't want to spend the $70 right now.
Not right now. Maybe later.
Well, you know what's even worse about it? I bought the fucking premium one.
Of course you did.
Because it has all the Dark Arts fucking appearance packages on it. Shit, dude. Why the fuck not?
I'm gonna be evil. I better be evil in style.
Well, the cool thing is with the game that I do enjoy is
goddamn gotcha game.
Every kind of shit. Every bit of gear you get, obviously as your gear improves, you can still make it look like previous pieces of gear.
Transmog, hottest thing to ever enter a game.
It's fucking awesome. I love it.
Transmog,
Transmog.
God, when Destiny finally did that, everyone was like, "Thank God!"
Dude, when I started playing again, and I saw that, I was like, "Oh my God, you can transmog now!"
That little of a quality of life thing in a video game goes fucking miles.
Literally been asking for that system since I don't know, Destiny 1, but okay.
I want my tune to look how I want my tune to fucking look.
Exactly. Transmog is,
and it's you get either a sword or a certain armor piece that you've been really trying to get because you think it looks fucking sweet, and then a quest or a DLC later, all of a sudden it's just null and void now, stats wise, and it's just, it kind of feels shitty. It's I don't want to wear this stupid helmet that's better. I want this one.
Dude, there was one.
Well, don't worry, you can equip this one with the better stats and make it look like the one you want it to look like.
You can make a unique design, so you don't have to look like what literally 90% of the player base is wearing.
It's like fucking hunters in World of Warcraft when they give you those dope ass the staff. You get a dope ass staff, and when you're like, but I have a fucking gun that's fucking awesome, and they're like, nope. You get a staff.
You're gonna love this pole arm, man.
Yeah. I'm telling you.
Just try it out, man. Swing it around.
The gun, though. No.
But I raised my crossbow. I raised my crossbow skill to 100.
Actually, to your point,
Thump.
When I was a hunter, or when I played my hunter, for me, instead of the pole arms, because I sometimes would rock the pole arms.
Yeah.
But I was a classic bow person.
Yeah.
I got pissed whenever I got dropped a crossbow or a gun. I'd be like, get the fucking shit out of here. I don't want that. I want a regular bow or a nice pole arm.
The musket.
My night elf hunter looked great with a bow. That's why
the musket gun is so fucking funny to me
really
in that game.
I know. And the really, like, there were legendary ones that were fucking, like, muskets. I'm like, fucking shut up.
I think it's cool if you're a dwarf hunter. Like, to me, it makes sense when you have a musket. But when like, when you're a night elf, it's like, I don't want to carry a fucking musket, dude. Like, no, right. I want a fucking bow.
Yeah, like a blood elf with a gun. This just doesn't work. It
just looks odd. I mean, you can make it work, but if you're going to play more traditional, like, probably you and I would, like, traditional fantasy style, like, I don't want no fucking gun. Get that shit on my face. Trash.
Oh, yeah. But...
Well, boys, I don't know if we exactly planned on this, but we basically dropped another double-sized issue.
Yeah. I was looking
pretty
at that
much.
clock. I'm like,
Pretty much.
We're rolling right now.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, not as long, but yeah, pretty much.
So to those of you that have made it through this almost now 2.5 hour episode, thank you so much. Let's say, I think anything else you boys wanted to talk about today, or I think that about wraps things up for this week.
No, thanks for sticking with us here.
Well, I skipped over, and I can't believe I did it. But, Patrick Stewart also just ran his mouth.
Oh, yeah, he's been running his mouth.
He's been running his mouth a little bit. Long story short, the TLDR, real quick.
If you haven't heard, he's been dropping some spice.
He dropped a hot, spicy take that as far as he and Sir Ian are concerned, they're not done playing Magneto and Charles anytime soon.
Hell yeah.
And
family.
That's all he kind of said about it. Said he wouldn't speak on it anymore.
I think the first thing that dropped was what Patrick Stewart said he was told to
stand by for Deadpool 3, and then like later this came out, so now it's like, okay. So Secret Wars is gonna have Magneto.
Oh, don't tease me. Oh! God, if they honestly. You have to believe Kevin Feige is going to make that happen, coming from X-Men. And I know he just talked about how seeing the Marvels all together was really emotional.
Psylocke done correctly.
I can't imagine what will go through his mind when he's watching Hugh Jackman back, Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, and then now you got
Famke Janssen.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll get all them X-Men.
Miss Barry.
She has still one of the worst comic book lines in all of film still. What does a toad do?
The same thing that happens
hit by lightning or whatever. I don't fucking remember that dumbass
You know what
line.
happens to a toad when it's struck by lightning? The same thing that happens to everything else.
Great.
It's so bad.
Sweet.
I'll always remember it.
Oh God. Anyway.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Please give us the old school Magneto and Professor X again.
It would only be right. I mean, that's just something you can't recast right now.
And like I said, I can't imagine what will go through Kevin Feige's mind once he sees all of them on screen, especially those.
That's
those three on that exactly one. Because that's where he started was X-Men and those actors with those characters, and to finally see them into his MCU that he's now built, and it's all connected again.
Get Rogue back.
Phenomenal.
Get all them back.
Sensational.
One movie.
We need Secret Wars to cost $1 billion. We need that movie to make $3 billion to break even. Okay.
Yeah.
Do it for the people, Kevin.
Do it for the people.
Don't do it for the shareholders. Do it for the people.
No, we do it for the people.
We'll do our part.
We'll do what we can. We'll do it for why, boys? Family. All right, I think that wraps up this week. Like I said, if you made it this far, thank you so much. Which means you apparently like the episodes. Maybe give us a like, maybe a subscribe if you haven't already. If you like an audio only version, which I know the last few minutes have been basically on YouTube here, but if you'd like an audio version, you can find us on Podbean and Spotify. Other than that, see you boys, ladies and gents, next week. Yeah, I'm your boy Jay Sib, and to my left.
What happened?
Yeah, I'm KP.
The bull.
All right. Why are we looking at this camera?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Inspect.
All right.
Anyway, see ya.
Looks like a camera.
Laters.